It is three-man front on this Wednesday. Welcome into the program for the next 4 hours. Hopefully we will inform and entertain you. Pat, Landrum, Conrad, and Molly. All of us will be here the full 4 hours today.
We got to do 4 full hours today?
Yeah, it's kind of weird for me since I didn't do 4 yesterday.
You okay? Everything good?
Not really, but yeah, we'll survive.
Okay.
I'm here, so we'll see what happens.
That sounds so promising.
Wow, man, just being.
Well, I guess that's the case for any of us, right?
Yeah, you just never know.
Next minute is never promised.
No, it's not. You never know what's around the corner. I was about to say, what are we watching?
I have no idea.
Okay,
who's the guy on the right? I thought it was like familiar coach face, and then I realized I have no idea who that guy is.
The things that the morning show watches during their broadcast, it's very odd.
It's bizarre. It's never more bizarre than the one that we got. For some reason, it had gone in like Nat Geo that morning.
Yeah,
and
where
it had
the elephants were mating.
They were mating. Yeah. That was fascinating.
Yeah, that was great stuff.
I'll get you going.
Yeah. We're going to start the program on a programming announcement. And listen, we are transparent on this program. We share with the audience the truth, and we're going to tell you exactly what's going on with the UFFL Stallions. We were reached out to yesterday, and we were asked if we'd be interested in having Daryl Moose Johnston on the program. If you remember, 2 years ago, Moose was on with us weekly on Three Man Front. Great interview, great guy, extremely honest. And a UFL representative reached out to us and said, listen, would you guys be up to having a conversation? Of course. We'd love to talk to Moose, especially with everything going on with the Birmingham franchise and what potentially could happen in the future. Yeah, we'd love to. So it was confirmed for 1 o'clock today. So that's why you saw my tweet, the show's tweet. Had a lot of people nationally reach out, say, hey, this is going to be great. We really appreciate you guys making him available, you guys having this conversation. That's big. Thank you. And we're looking forward to it. And then we were informed a little bit before we came on the air that it now was a question mark whether Moose Johnston was going to be available for today's interview. So needless to say, I mean, if Moose is available at some juncture today or tomorrow or whatever day of the week, we would welcome his call.
Of course.
We're not saying that, okay, kind of run into a little, I don't know what you call it today. Have no idea. Maybe had a conflict. Maybe he didn't want to come on the show and talk about Birmingham, whether they're going to have a team or not have a team. I have no idea. But they reached out to us yesterday, and we said we'd be more than welcome to have that conversation. And then we were informed that it may not happen. So
as far as this morning,
we
were just informed. So you're getting this news fresh.
Correct. So FYI, as far as we're concerned, he's not on today. Now, if something else changes and he becomes available, we will take his phone call and we'll have that conversation. But we just want to be completely honest and open because I know a lot of people nationally that follows the UFL. They were very interested in this conversation that we were going to have with Moose. And apparently that will not happen today as of 10:04.
And no other reasons were given. We have no idea. Maybe it was just a scheduling conflict. Maybe he had a doctor's appointment. We don't know. But, if he's available, we certainly want to do it because we know a lot of you are interested. I saw more tweets coming out from one of the new co-owners. What's his name? Rapoli?
Apparently I think Birmingham is now up to, are we up to 2,000 tickets sold or is it under 2,000? Because I'm confused because someone bought a suite and I guess the new owner is saying that he's going to count that as 200 season tickets.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I guess we earned our bronze badge. We're trying to get to platinum. In order to keep the franchise, I really don't know.
Okay,
but
so this is
like
what
we're getting a daily grade from this guy.
Yeah, so this is what he tweeted out. It says, so far we have 1,392 season tickets in one suite. The suite is really impressive. I see and feel the passion. I honestly didn't expect a suite, and I love that bigger financial commitment. I'm going to count the suite as 200 season tickets. That means we're at 1,600. Well done, Birmingham. Just 3,400 more to hit our goal.
I don't know how I feel about that tweet. You can interpret the tone any way you want, but it feels like we're getting patted on the head and asked, good job. Good job, Birmingham. Let's see how you do tomorrow.
One, it doesn't help if you go and Google his net worth and you realize that it would be pocket change for him to, if this was really something he felt passionately about, maybe help some people get season tickets for the Stallions next year if he really wanted to keep them in Birmingham. Some of his stuff is old tone.
I know, and he's made an investment in the league, and it's his money. He can spend it the way that he wants to. Ultimately, if he doesn't want a franchise in Birmingham, then put it where you want it. I want the franchise to stay, but I don't know. Maybe I'm interpreting his tone all wrong.
I just want to know what happens if we sell 4,000 season tickets. Right? You're 1,000 short.
4,700.
Sorry, we're going to take the team out of Birmingham over 1,000 tickets. Is that where we're at right now?
Well, here's my question. The city of Birmingham, they dished out $5 million to bail out the World Games. That was a huge financial disaster for the city of Birmingham. But Birmingham found $5 million to pay off the World Games debt. I think for a lot less than $5 million, if the city of Birmingham and the current mayor of Birmingham wanted this team to stay, I think that they could make one phone call, purchase those tickets, make sure that the underprivileged or charities in the Birmingham metropolitan area gets their hands on free tickets.
It would take $170,000 to buy or put the $50 deposit down on the remaining 3,400 season tickets.
So, yeah. So, I mean, if Birmingham is serious and the people that run the city of Birmingham, if they want this team to continue, I think it's a pretty easy city council meeting they have, I think, every Tuesday, in which if you're willing to spend the taxpayer money on $5 million to bail out the World Games, then I think purchasing some season tickets for some charity groups in Birmingham, I think that would go a long way.
Aside from the closing and the opening ceremonies, I'm guessing that more people from Birmingham have viewed a Stallions game than watched an event at the World Games.
Yes, very much so.
I've definitely watched more Stallions than I did World Games.
Yes.
So according to our Twitter poll question that we have left up from yesterday, it says, how do you feel about a supposed ultimatum for Birmingham to sell 5,000 season tickets or the Stallions will relocate? As of this moment, which is surprising, 35% of our audience says Birmingham fans should pony up and they should pay. They should buy season tickets. 32% of you say it's emotional blackmail. Meanwhile, 25% says call UFL bluff, don't buy. And then 8.3% says bold billionaire strategy to give Birmingham an ultimatum. So it's kind of all over the board. Some fans, they want this team. They're diehard. They want the team to survive and to continue on, while others are like, good riddance, done.
Well, Birmingham's a walk-up town. I know it's relative. What is it, $100, Conrad, for season tickets? Is that roughly
50? Well, yeah.
They're asking for $50 deposit right now,
Yep.
which if the team relocates, you get the $50 back.
Okay. There's a lot of ask this time of year with college football. Some people that are going to be investing a lot in just taking their family to a game. I don't know. Hopefully,
back to school.
I hope the Stallions stay. I don't know. I don't like the way that it's playing out here in the early stages of his ownership.
Well, and I'm sure people have thought about this. I'm sure y'all thought about this, but what's to say, okay, you hit this number this year, you go and have a great season. What's to say the next year we're not back in a similar situation of, well, we really like that y'all stepped it up attendance-wise, but now we're going to need an additional 3,000 more season tickets, or we're going to, possibly move the Stallions.
I just wonder
when does it end?
How many people that live here in Birmingham in the metro, how many would be upset if the Stallions were gone? How many would be indifferent? Or, I mean, how many still know that they play here?
Well, a couple of questions that I would love to ask Moose if he gives us the opportunity to come on the show is, why is Birmingham being held to a certain standard when I was reading where the Washington Defenders did not sell 5,000 season tickets last year? So is that the new standard? Is that what you are going to hold accountable to every franchise moving forward?
Or are you saying that their walk-up attendance is better so they don't have to justify it by pre-selling 5,000 season tickets? You can count on the DC crowd?
I mean, to the UFL's bottom line, how much is, whether you sell 1,600 season tickets or 5,000 season tickets, how much is that going to help your bottom line when it's all said and done?
Well, you can't control weather. Yeah, you're right. You can't control weather, but I'll go ahead and I'll put this ultimatum out there. If you put a kickoff on a Sunday morning of Mother's Day again, I won't be there again. UFL can help with some of this.
Well, they haven't spent a dime in the market.
Or TV can help with some of this.
You know, they ask for advertising for free from the TV stations and the radio stations. So it's a great marketing plan. I mean, if you can get it for free, why do we need to spend any money? But again, so if Moose Johnston becomes available, we will welcome his phone call. He's a very nice individual. He's been very honest with us. Have no reason to think that he wouldn't be honest if he came on the show. But for whatever reason, he was available. Now he's not available. You can read what you want to into that. So we'll keep you informed. But that's where we are at 10:11 on this Wednesday. 1-800-239-WJOX. That's the phone number. The Courtesy GMC text line, 205-834-9450. Coming up later this hour, Brian Edwards from Vegas Insider. He will join the program. Chris Stewart will begin his weekly hit with us as we will talk to Chris about Alabama's fall camp as they get ready for the Florida State Seminoles. And, of course, we will welcome your phone calls and your text messages on this Wednesday. A lot to get into, including when we come back, we'll kind of wrap up our conversation about Auburn claiming some national championships. One of our good friends in the media, he had a lot of fun at Auburn's expense yesterday. We'll play you that clip next on Three Man Front. A lot of phone calls coming in about the Stallions and the text messages. We'll get to the audio about Auburn's national championships coming up a few minutes because we want to hear from you, because I know a lot of you are showing frustration, a lot of the folks on Twitter as well, after we announced that Moose Johnston will not be on the program. Before we get to your calls, do want to pass this along. This just came out moments ago, but the College Football Playoff Committee, they have announced the selection committee rankings release dates. So in case you want to go ahead and put this on your calendar, the first one will be Tuesday, November the 4th. Next one will be Tuesday, November 11th, then November 18th, November 25th, Tuesday, December 2nd, and then the final one will be Sunday, December the 7th at 11 o'clock Birmingham time. So that's your release dates. So that's a grand total of 6 releases for the College Football Playoff Committee, which begins on Tuesday, November the 4th.
And I'm sure we're all excited to hear that they are also going to be using enhanced metrics this year for their college football playoff rankings, where they will help evaluate strength of schedule and how teams perform against that schedule. So I'm glad we have another metric now that we'll get no transparency about.
Well, I just hope I'm given the
rankings.
Opportunity to be part of the what it was it
The seminar?
Yeah, the seminar, the Zoom, or whatever the crap it was that I went through last year. I'll have to go back and look see what date that was.
It was right before the season, if I remember.
And it should be.
I thought it had already happened.
I thought it did too.
You think they did this without you knowing?
No, because I'm on all their email stuff, and I don't think I overlooked it.
Well, and surely Mike would have said something.
I just thought as we were talking about General Clark and he was within ear distance of us at SEC Media Days, maybe we said something that made the general angry.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that.
He's going to hold it against you.
Well, possibly so. I do have that effect on people at times, so that's fun. All right, let's go to the calls. Let's start with Boomer, because no one loves the Stallions more than Boomer, and he joins us on the program. Hey, Boomer.
Boomer.
Giddy up!
Hey.
What's
Hello,
up, Boomer?
my mellow fellows. How y'all doing?
Man, we're doing good. How about you?
Man, I am too blessed to be depressed. Let me just kind of put some ray of sunshine in everybody's hats today. You know, if I owned a Cadillac, I can park that Cadillac anywhere I want to. But on the other hand, I'm not going to extort somebody to allow to say, okay, I'll come park my Cadillac over here in your parking lot if you give me this much money, or if you sell these many seats. To me, it's an extortion. But on the other hand, I see where he's coming from. If he's not going to make money here, then people need to get off their butts and go buy some tickets. That's just all there is to it. But as y'all say too, Birmingham is a walk-up venue. That's just the way it is. But when the corporate UFL gives us and hands us schedules that don't coincide or help themselves here in Birmingham, we're not responsible for that. I've already told the ticketing agent. Of course, I went ahead and I bought my 2 tickets. I put my deposit in, but I told my ticketing agent, it's not fair for me to have to purchase tickets preseason without a schedule, because the schedule is what kills attendance. You've got Talladega, you've got A-Day, and Mother's Day, Sunday morning, come on. And the thing of it is, these guys that have domes, they're playing in the domes at night. So why don't we have the night schedules and they have the day schedules?
Good point.
I mean, it does not make sense on their scheduling. As far as advertisement and everything else, me and the Stallions fans and the Horsemen, we work our tails off to give a good, seasoned product at tailgates to entertain. I run all over that stadium every game to make sure that everybody's having fun from 18 to 80, from 8 to 80. I want to make sure that everybody's having a great time, that they're comfortable. Even you know, are you too hot? Let me get you some water kind of things. You know, just bring people in and trying to be entertaining. As a fan, I'm paying to do this so that they feel like, hey, that guy was pretty cool. Everybody up here is pretty cool. I think I'll go to another game.
Boomer, thank you for the phone call.
Well, one thing's for sure, the Horsemen, including Boomer and countless others, they have busted their tail since the franchise came back.
Yeah, they sure have.
To make it a fun atmosphere. And I will never forget, Landrum, the look on Skip Holtz's face when we had that championship party at Social Taco and he came up those stairs and we had all of those people, most of them horsemen, that was there to greet him. I mean, he was absolutely, it looked like he was a Cheshire cat, man. I mean, he was as happy as all get out. And that's because of great fans like Boomer and the rest of the Horsemen. And it is disappointing that the league has not done a better job with certain fan bases. And listen, if they come back to Birmingham or they leave Birmingham, the league is going to have to face a lot of questions. Because if you're going to hold Birmingham to a certain standard, then are you going to do the same thing in San Antonio? Arlington is a joke. Arlington drew as much as Birmingham. They didn't draw a lot more than Birmingham. You think people in the Dallas Metroplex gives two rips on a 2-bit football league when you have the Dallas Cowboys? Are you kidding me? That's a waste of time. But I just want...
Seems like it's just market comparison where you look at all of these other cities and there feels like Birmingham's just getting picked on.
Memphis doesn't care. Memphis doesn't care. Memphis didn't even want the team to come back last year. Like, why that happened, nobody knows. Okay, you want to play in Columbus? No problem. Go play in a soccer stadium. Great. Make it happen. What if the Stallions move to, the Hoover Met? Is that going to change anybody's opinion or buy more tickets? I don't know. Don't know the answer to that. Because at the end of the day, like Boomer brought up, there are certain problems with a spring calendar, especially in Birmingham, Alabama, with all the other activities, whether it's Talladega, whether it's the Regions Golf Tournament, whether it's the Barbers Race Course.
SEC baseball tournament.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things. So,
and spring here is actually really nice. There are other parts of the country where it's still cold. Here we get true spring weather most years, and people are, especially down here, they're ready to get out and be active, and there's a lot of different opportunities to do that. I'm skeptical that we get the 5,000 pre-buys just based on where we are right now. I thought we would be a little bit further along.
Arlington averaged 600 more people than we did this year. 600. That's it. Are they being mentioned as being relocated? No, don't think so.
That's where the hub is, though, right?
Yeah.
That's where the office is.
I mean, Michigan averaged 11,681 fans, and they're being mentioned to move. And they play in Ford Field. That's a great
they play
venue.
In the Dome.
It's a great venue. San Antonio, 11,104. Houston, 5,000. DC, 13,000. St. Louis, 29,000. Memphis, 3,991. Birmingham was 9,154. I think it was week 7. I think that was Mother's Day. The announced attendance in Birmingham was 4,774.
That one hurt.
Well, I'm surprised that 4,774 people showed up on Mother's Day.
Me too.
In the Bible Belt, and you're scheduling a football game, even though we love our football, and football stadiums are cathedrals in this part of the world to us.
We also love our mamas and our families.
Well, and see, this is where I go back to, all right, what if you only sell 4,000 tickets and now you're looking at DC Defenders numbers? Are you going to be able to look at the city of Birmingham and say, well, now that you're on par with DC, which we've determined that market's fine.
Yeah,
that's
outside of St. Louis, Conrad, is he going to do a market-to-market tour?
I mean, come on.
Kind of like a carnival barker, pre-selling tickets?
I've only seen it for Birmingham.
I go back to, it feels like Birmingham's getting picked on here.
Well, and one of the questions...
Are we surprised?
And one of the questions, and I've shared with my teammates, I don't write out questions before an interview.
No, we don't.
I learned from Paul Feinbaum years ago. Paul Feinbaum never has a script. He doesn't prepare.
Because you never know which way an interview is going to go.
Yeah, the only things I have in front of me are our show lives and our cut sheet for audio. That's all we have. But one of the questions that I most definitely was going to ask Moose Johnston was, are you willing or the league is willing to bypass the number one television market, because since the inception of this league, we have been told countless times that it is about the television ratings and selling advertisers on television. The people that show up to games are great, but it's like taping a sitcom. This is a TV event, and we'd love for a crowd to be there, but they're just background. So now you've got a guy coming in, and you're holding the city hostage because you're not selling X number of tickets. So where's the message? And where's The Rock? You know, The Rock was supposed to be this face of the league. Remember that? He's disappeared after the Army sued him because he didn't tweet out after he got paid money.
Yeah, his minimum number of social media posts.
Yeah, so he's non-existent. His former wife, who supposedly runs the league, you know, where are all these people at Redbird Capital that was supposed to be the face of the league? Now this guy is. So the whole thing is just beginning to really stink, to be completely honest. This reminds me of some of the other two-bit leagues that came into town, like the Art Williams and the Canadian Football League, the Birmingham Barracudas, the first installment of the XFL. It's going down the same path.
Well, if there are fans that are on the fence that have been following this on social media with this guy and tweeting these things, if you're on the fence, I could see where a lot of people would say, you know what? Nope.
It
turns me away.
The wrong way.
Don't want to go. I'm not gonna be one of those walk up people. I can see people saying that.
Absolutely. Instead of, hey, let's have an event in Birmingham. We want to keep this team in Birmingham. Let's bring Skip Hole. Let's bring some of the players out. Let's show the fans a nice time and use that as a positive marketing push to get people to sign up for season tickets at an event like that. But no, instead you have some dude calling out your mayor on social media and making jokes about, hey, maybe Perry's would like to advertise with us if we stay in Birmingham. Like, come on, man.
And I sat through a couple of weather games. I know that you did as well, because we were out in the stands. We were not in the press box, so we had to brave the elements. But there were a couple of games where it was bad weather. I live 7 minutes from the stadium on a good traffic day, and I sat on my couch and I watched it. You can't control the weather, but you can control the time slots, and you can control Mother's Day.
All right, let's go to Will next. He joins us here on Three Man Front. Hey, Will.
Hey, guys, I just got to think, man, this, you said it, Pat, this stinks. This is just, it's trashy. I haven't gone to a ton of games. I just think it stinks. It's the whole way that they handled it is not the correct way to handle it. And I'll be honest with you, the league doesn't last another 2 years, whether they're in Birmingham or they're not. You just talked about the Rock's no longer involved. You don't see the people from Redbird anymore. It's not going to last, and I hate that they're trying to get people to buy these season tickets and to be bigger fans when they're just not going to last.
Can't disagree, Will. And the other part about that you just brought up is they put Skip Holtz in a very difficult situation. What was it, about a month ago when he came here to do the free kids clinic, when that story broke from this reporter that now has apologized. I don't know if you guys saw that. We didn't even bring it up on the show because I didn't want to absolutely torch the guy. But he literally, about a week ago, came out with a story and he apologized because the information that he fed that made everybody go crazy, like it was Armageddon in Birmingham and these other markets, that he says now, if he had time to go back, he wouldn't have written the story because he did not have the type of information. That's what happens when you get people that don't go to school in journalism, or you don't go to broadcasting and get a degree in communications because you're not trained. You know, what you do is you're supposed to be ask the questions and be right when you report something. But this guy went ahead and jumped ahead of it, reported the story, and now he's recanting it, saying, you know what, my bad. Sorry, I've learned a lesson. I'm now a pariah. I'm probably not going to get that information anymore. But the damage has already been done.
And Boomer killed it. I mean, I don't know that I've ever heard Boomer speak that well, but I'll tell you, he killed it, everything he said. And you've seen those guys at the games trying to get people involved, people being excited about it, and the thing that you guys had at Social Taco for the you're talking about getting rid of a 3-time champion.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the number one TV market? That's asinine. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and overall, Birmingham was 39-8 as a franchise. 39-8.
Well, I think part of that, but part of what you just said, Will, about being a 3-time champion and the TV ratings, I think that they think that we should be buying more season tickets just because of that, which I don't think is a fair standard to compare it to.
Well, you're having to go against two pretty big standards in college football here.
Yeah.
And not to mention all the stuff that you guys mentioned going on in the spring, and horrible. I mean, it's you said we had great weather, and we do, but you're
not in
talking
May.
about some of those games in the middle of the day are hot as hell.
Oh, they're hot. Yep.
And think about what just happened in the month of May in Birmingham. It was the wettest month on weather record in the city of Birmingham. There was more rain in that month than we've ever had in the history of Birmingham as a city. Think about that. I mean, two games there were weather delays. I know one of those games you were at, Landrum.
Well, one game you had a thunderstorm that rolled through the area, and then you had a cold front that moved in, so everybody was dressed for warm, wet weather. Then you end up you're wet and you're cold by the second quarter. It was not good.
Yeah, I don't see it lasting. No matter where they put teams at. I hate that that's the case. I think there is a place for an alternate football league. I just don't think anybody's done it right yet.
You're right. Thank you, Will.
Appreciate
the phone call. More your calls, your texts. This is 3-Man Front on Jox. We will continue with your calls. Your text messages are coming in left and right. I will tell you about Golston Tree Service, 205 337-4443. If that old tree is leaning a little bit too close to your house, don't wait for that next storm to come through to make that a more of an interesting situation for you moving forward. Licensed, insured, and ready to handle any job, big or small. You need to call Golston Tree Service. That number, 205-337-4443. They also offer the 24-hour emergency tree service. So when it comes to your trees, don't risk it. Call Golston Tree Service today, 205-337-4443.
We continue here on Three Man Front. A lot of your texts coming in on the Jox text line, 205-834-9450. A lot of it on the Stallions. If you're just joining us, Moose Johnson not going to join us today. We are efforting to reschedule the time for Moose to come on and describe what exactly is the situation with Birmingham. What is the deadline that Mr. Rapoli wants to see? How many tickets? What if we fall just short? Joey from Coleman. Appreciate the text. I have a couple of other letters to add to the UFL. How about FTUFL? I feel like they're playing Birmingham like suckers. Here's my theory. Rapoli buys it, says, hey, these are the markets I wanted out. I want to go Columbus. I want to go this other city, but Birmingham is out. And then you had current people in the league, maybe like a Moose or other people that said, whoa, no. This is a three-time champion. Birmingham's a great football town, and look what we do in the TV ratings. And he said, okay, that's fine. We're going to have a little test here. We're going to see if we can get 5,000 pre-buys, and if we can do that, let Birmingham prove that they want a team. That's where I feel like this is playing out. I don't know that to be fact. That's just a theory. That's what that's coming off as. Very condescending. One vote for indifferent. Thank you for the text on if they stayed or left. Kevin says, relatively speaking, isn't the support for AA baseball in Birmingham greater than the support for the Stallions?
Let me look up what that was.
Are we talking about season tickets or attendance? Thirsty Thursday? You might rival some of those games. This text reads, Mr. Rapoli seems to ask for a lot for an investor. As a New York City born and bred investment jerk, he just wants a franchise in Columbus, Ohio. He could care less about Birmingham.
Last year, the Birmingham Barons averaged 3,398.
Why aren't y'all even giving the contact info to buy tickets instead of complaining? Go to UFL. Here, I'll give it to you. UFL, don't go to UFL.
I mean, if you Google Stallion season tickets, it's the first link that pops up on Google.
I was just there. TheUFL.com. TheUFL.com.
Well, the bottom line to whoever texted that in, if we didn't care about it, do you think we would have already spent 39 minutes talking about this? We'd have moved on. But obviously we do care. Mm-hmm. I think we've talked about the UFL more than any radio show in the state of Alabama. And that includes the one that is on prior to us coming on. So
this one rolls in. It says, the product you get isn't worth the hassle to get there, in my opinion. To be fair, I'm an hour away.
And that's very fair.
Yeah, it is fair. This one reads, I could care less whether they stay or leave. At the end of the day, it's a business deal for the owner. We can't take it personal.
The only thing you can take personal is you feel like you're being held hostage, or you're giving an unattainable ultimatum. And I subscribe to what Landrum said. I think this whole thing was a scam to begin with. I think the die has been cast. I think they were going to move Birmingham out regardless. And then somebody somewhere said, now, hold on a second. You realize you're about to pull out of the number one television market in the UFL. Are you really willing to do that? He goes, well, okay, well, let's throw them a bone. Let's see how much they want to be a part of the UFL. See if they can sell 5,000. Not 5,000 tickets before opening kickoff. 5,000 tickets in 1 week's time.
1 week's time.
Well, and that was my other thing.
Right before college football kicks off. Right as kids are going back to school.
if you've known that this was going to be the case for a while now, which you can't convince me they haven't been having the conversations, why would you not have put this out there a month ago, 2 months ago, at the end of last season?
Pat's the only one on the show that has kids. And Pat, your kids are out of high school. You got one in college. But just from having 13 nieces and nephews and the requests that we've gotten for the start of school, there is a lot of fees attached to going to school these days.
Even if you go to a so-called, I'm using air quotes, public school.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the number of things that you have to buy for the classroom.
You want to be on a cheer team? You want to be on a sport, be a part of a club? Goodness gracious.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of money that Conrad paid to be on the Hayden dance team, that was outrageous.
Oh, a ton.
It was not cheap. It was not cheap.
Palms, uniforms, shoes.
Those parachute pants that
hair
you wore.
ties.
Your leotards.
Bows, leotards.
The leotards really got
Your
me.
alternate leotard. That was my favorite. When you went with the black leotard.
Thank you.
With the collar.
I thought he wore the wrestling leotard.
He just he tells me that he will put on the wrestling singlet every now and then.
Yeah.
Paige loves him in it.
Still fits.
Does it?
Gotta squeeze.
Do you wear the ear guards too?
Of course. Gotta
put the mouthpiece in.
Gotta protect my cauliflower ear. Come on, Landrum.
Let's see here. And not gonna read that. I would be willing to bet that you guys have done more UFL coverage than any station in the country. Wesley and Chalkville.
Wesley, I think you're right.
We've done a ton of it.
And
I will not feel guilty on our part.
No, not at all.
If they left. That is not putting anything out there on anyone. If you don't want to buy season tickets, that is your right. I'm not going to hold it against you. But we have promoted about all we can.
Yeah. And ask us how much money we've received from the UFL. All right.
Zero.
Speaking of money, we want to make
memories.
We want people to make a lot of money. That's the idea. And so Brian Edwards from MajorWager.com, he has got some week 0 games that we're going to discuss. That's coming up next. Top of the hour, we'll talk to Chris Stewart from Crimson Tide Sports Network. A lot to get into on this Wednesday. Thanks for tuning us in on Jox.
Three-man front. Thanks for joining us here on Jox. Those watching on Jox TV, listening all over the state of Alabama, Mobile, Huntsville, Montgomery, Tuscaloosa, Metro Birmingham, wherever you are throughout your travels, listening on the app. We appreciate it. Certainly appreciate our friends at Stark Exterminators. Stark Exterminators tell you about them all the time. Right now, the weather's still hitting the 90s. We might have a little bit of a cooling off trend, but then it's going to be warm again. If you've been here long enough here in the Deep South, you know that fall doesn't officially sometimes start until almost Christmas time. Well, you don't have to worry about bugs when you're entertaining, when you're out with Johnny, Janie in the yard, and them getting bit by insects, going back to school, and everybody wondering, wow, your parents don't care about you. Show that your kids, show their classmates and their teachers that you care about them. With Stark Exterminators, family owned for over 61 years, one of their courteous professionals come out to your home, place of business, inspect it thoroughly, inside and out, and you can count on them. 100% of your satisfaction is guaranteed as a customer. Call today, 855-STARK-NOW, or go to starkexterminators.com. 855-STARK-NOW. Starkexterminators.com. As always, tell them Landrum from Jox sent you.
MajorWager.com, Vegas Insider, our main man, Brian Edwards, joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. All right, Brian, you have been all over the Farmageddon game being played in Dublin, Ireland. I'm looking at the current point spread. The Cyclones are now a 3-point underdog. That's a live line right now against Kansas State. I know you have been on record who you like here, but that fluctuation of the points, does that change your mind at all one way or another, the Cyclones or the Wildcats?
No, I still like Iowa State at +3. I have them number 27 in my power rankings. I have K-State 29. So I give Iowa State a slight edge on a neutral field. Should be a really good game. Two Big 12 contenders in a conference that is wide open. So might end up being, tiebreaker ramifications come late November. So very important game for both teams. Both teams have very good returning quarterbacks. And Avery Johnson and Rocco Beck. And should be a good one. I am on Iowa State, which is 28-18-2 against the spread as an underdog during Matt Campbell's tenure. And they have won 4 of the last 5 head-to-head meetings with K-State, including a 29-21 home win last year, and they have actually covered in 5 straight in the rivalry. Their only loss in the last 5 was a 10-9 game where they covered as a 1.5-point underdog in 2022. So give me Iowa State, and I decided on a player prop in the last 15 minutes.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. Now, I don't know, some of your listeners, may have accounts that don't have player props up yet. A lot of times player props won't go up until the day of the game, and sometimes not till inside of 2 or 3 hours till the game. So, but at FanDuel right now, the receiving yards prop for Chase Sowell, transfer wide receiver from East Carolina, is 57.5. By all indications, he's going to be their wide receiver 1. They lost their 2 studs, Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins, who both had more than they actually both had nearly 1,200 receiving yards apiece last year, and they were both drafted by the Texans on day 2. And so anyway, Sowell was their 1 4-star transfer, and in the last 7 games he played for East Carolina last year, he had 75 receiving yards, 50, 117, 138, 82, 67, and 72. So 6 of the 7 games went over 57.5, and they went over by 9.5 yards or more. So now that's a much smaller play than my Iowa State play, though.
Another game coming up this weekend, Brian. You got Fresno State at Kansas, newly renovated. It's beautiful. David Booth, Kansas Memorial Stadium, 5:30 kick there on Fox. Around 13, I think Kansas the favorite there at home. I got a sneaky suspicion Fresno State's going to give them all they want. What do you think?
I agree. I haven't played it yet. I feel like I'm a little late to the party because you could have had 13.5 and bought it to 14 a week or 2 back. And the line move, I'm not certain of this. It might just be money coming in on Fresno, but 2 of Kansas's top transfers have missed most of camp. In fact, Bryson Canny, who is a really good transfer wide receiver, and DJ Graham, who's going to be a starting corner. They've both been injured for most of camp. Now, Leipold said on Monday that they have practiced a little bit, I guess, starting late last week. So they may end up dressing out, but I don't, they're not going to play like they normally would. So that's, a little bit of a slight factor that makes you think Fresno State even more. But again, I haven't bet it, and, there's bound to be some line movement between now and Saturday. Now, it won't necessarily go the way I want it to, but I don't think I'm going to bet it unless I can get 14, which maybe I can be patient and get that on a live bet, or maybe we'll see some line movement to 13.5. I can buy it, buy a half point to 14. So anyway, lean Fresno, but I haven't played anything yet.
Okay, in regards to week 1, and we will save next week for any conversation about Auburn, Baylor, or Alabama and Florida State. But as you look down your sheet and you see other week 1 games, are there a couple that already kind of jump out at you that you would like to discuss, or at least put a shilling or two on for week 1?
Yeah, I have bet Buffalo plus 17. And I see there's a 17 offshore right now, but most books are 16.5. So I would buy the half point. So the key number is 17. We know PJ Fleck likes to run the ball regardless, and he's starting a redshirt freshman at quarterback in Drake Lindsey, making his first career start. So he's going to want to run the ball even more, and he's got a stud running back in Darius Taylor. So the key to the handicap to me is Buffalo's run defense and their front 7, and Phil Steele's national unit rankings have their D-line ranked 44th in the country. Their linebackers 72. They finished last year on a 5-game winning streak. They went 9-4 last year. They have 9 starters back on defense. They've got a transfer QB and Taquan Roberson, but they've got really good front 7. Red Murdoch, first team All-MAC last year, second in the nation in tackles with 156, led the country in forced fumbles with 7. His 11 career forced fumbles are 3rd in MAC history, 13th in college football history, I'm going to guess, behind Max Crosby and Khalil Mack as the other 2 in MAC history, although I didn't check that. And they've got Kobe Stewart at DN, who led the MAC in sacks last year. And they've got a workhorse running back in Al-Jay Henderson, 1,078 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns, 5.3 yards per carry average last year. And their best receiver, Victor Snowback, 55 catches, 651 yards, 6 touchdowns. So I like Buffalo plus 17 a lot. To a smaller extent, I've got Miami of Ohio plus 17.5 at Wisconsin. And let's see, what's going on with that Vols total? I'm trying to find it on the board. Oh, here we go. 51. I bought it from 51.5 to 52 last week. I hear the music coming.
What total was this?
What's that?
What total was this for?
Vols Syracuse.
Okay.
So, I like it better at 52, a key number for a total, but, maybe a little bit at 51. Y'all know I've talked about Toledo all summer, but we missed the boat. Like, I got them at 11. It's now 7.5, so, that's at your discretion. If you're going to do a teaser or money line parlay, I think South Carolina is a good one for that because they're at 7.5 or 8, and Atlanta to Vatech.
All right, speaking of Toledo, it's time to blast off. Brian, sorry, we're up against it. We love you, man. Happy college football season. We'll talk to you next week.
It is 11 o'clock. Welcome back in. This is Three Man Front on Jox. Appreciate you tuning us in. Very excited because each and every Wednesday at this time, brought to you by Craneworks, we get an opportunity to catch up with the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart.
Lift it, load it, grade it, grind it, move it, haul it, rig it, dig it, Craneworks, Rentalworks, yeah! The big dog's got it.
Crimson Tide Network's Chris Stewart on Three Man Front is brought to you by Craneworks. Lift it, buy it, rent it. The big dog's got it. And now, Chris Stewart.
Chris joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Chris, I hope the summer has been nice and cool for you.
About like it has for you and everybody else, brother. No, it's incredibly hot, almost unbearable, which can only mean we're 2 weeks away from the start of the season.
There's no doubt about that. I guess you probably did a lot of golfing with your son over the summer. Do I catch that right? Probably.
You probably would be a good way to describe it. We had a lot of fun. It's special to get to have that time with him, and especially in my backyard. Literally, I live right here by Bent Brook, so get him over, and we're playing a good bit. But he is back in school now, and so that's the priority. But we do have high school golf tryouts coming up soon, so he'll be trying to make that varsity. So hopefully it'll go well.
Chris, as you start preparing for the college football season for the Alabama Crimson Tide right now, through the developments, reports, and people that you talk to through a couple of weeks of camps, a couple of scrimmages in the books, what is your expectation right now, at least for week one, as far as the offense? And we know that Ty Simpson is going to be the starting quarterback, but just as a whole, kind of a 30,000-foot view.
Yeah, guys, we talk about it every year. You got to be good to be in the conversation at the start of the year. You got to be great to be in the mix late. You got to be lucky if you're going to win it all. I think this team's obviously really good because they're in the conversation right now. They got a chance to be great, and with some luck, then they can win it all. I think they are that talented. Breaks don't always mean injuries or lack thereof, but it can be timing. Certainly never ideal to have your top returning running back banged up and in a spot where he's going to miss some time, but much better to have it now than later. And so, I am thankful that it's apparently not a season-ending type deal and that we're going to see him back, and thankful that there's depth behind it. I think also having it 2 weeks out from the opener, it gives – I'm just throwing a name, and that I don't want anybody reading anything into this because I'm not trying to give any, code or anything. I'm just thinking if I'm a young man like A.K. Deere, who is probably 4th, 5th on the depth chart, and then there's an injury, he's not happy that a teammate's gone down. But now – I'm going, you know what? There's even more urgency for me to pick up everything that I need to pick up and to go in with a mindset that I'm a snap away, because he probably is now. I mean, he's up in the rotation, and he's just an example of what they have available to them from a depth standpoint. And I think it gets those guys better prepared quicker, more reps for those guys. And I think it's a thing that frankly can make you better later in the year if you can weather the storm early that comes with not having one of your top ball carriers available.
Chris Stewart joins us, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, brought to you each week by Craneworks. Chris, let's talk about the quarterback position. Ty Simpson was named the starting quarterback. Not that shocks a lot of us, but just your impressions of being around the football team, the people you talk to. You've seen Ty Simpson in person. I know it's been in mop-up roles, but just the individual himself, what can you tell us about Ty Simpson being QB1?
I think he fits the system and what they want to do offensively. I think there's also certainly excitement about what's behind him. But I think it's great for the team that he won the position, because he is the veteran. He is the guy that's been there. I'm happy to see a guy who sticks it out in this day and age get rewarded and have success and get an opportunity and make the most of it. But at the same time, knowing what's behind him, he's going to be pushed all throughout, not just the start of camp as he has, but within the season as well. There's pressure on him to develop and be the best he can be. At the same time, if something doesn't go right, you have capable guys behind him, guys that just about anybody in the country would love to have on their roster, and that I know Coach DeBoer, Coach Grubb are excited about as far as the future, whether you're talking about Austin Mack or you're talking about a quarterback behind him who everybody really won. Elon Russell is ultra talented and is going to be great when his opportunity comes. The beauty of it, and I said it at an event this morning, the fact that he doesn't have to be the guy day one is huge for him, but also for this team. Because normally when guys come in as highly rated as he was, you hand them the ball day one and it's yours. And you have to live and die with the ups and downs that can come with a guy who is as young as he is. But the fact that you don't have to roll him out there as QB1 in Doak Campbell Stadium is a huge plus for Alabama, but also for him and his development going forward.
Voice of the Crimson Tide, Chris Stewart, joining us courtesy of Craneworks on the Higginbotham Hotline. You mentioned Ryan Grubb. How much variance do you think we see in a Ryan Grubb, Ty Simpson offense than what we saw last year with Jalen Milroe and obviously Coach Sheridan calling plays?
Yeah, and here's the thing. I think it will be very different. More depth at wideout, more experience at wideout. That is the benefit to the quarterback that Jalen didn't necessarily have, and that whoever lines up at QB now is going to have the advantage. A chance to run their system, which is truly a Kalen DeBoer system that he wants to run offensively. I think while, yes, we had the change to his offense, there were still things you had to adapt to take advantage of your best weapon, who was clearly Jalen Milroe. But you're not necessarily running exactly what you want to run the way you want to run it. And you have to make that adaptation in year one when you're trying to take what you've got, take who you are, and find a way to blend the two. Now that you've got a year under your belt, you can run more of what you truly want to run. And I think with the weapons that are around Ty, that's going to help, which frankly has nothing to do with pros or cons as it relates to Nick Sheridan. But obviously with a marriage of the things we're talking about in terms of returning experience, talent, a better fit, but also an assistant coach and offensive coordinator who has such a lengthy background and successful background with Coach DeBoer. I can't help but think about what it speaks to Coach Sheridan, though, that there was not only a place for him, but a vital role for him, and the fact that he believes enough in Coach DeBoer first and foremost, but also in Ryan Grubb, that he was willing to stay and be a part of this, even though what's perceived to be a demotion for him.
Chris, I'm not proclaiming that the defense this year is going to look like the 1992 defense, but there is a lot of momentum. A lot of people are fired up about Kane Womack's defensive unit this year with a year under the belt of a lot of guys in the secondary. Just your 30,000-foot view of this defensive unit and how special it potentially could be.
Yeah, look, we saw it improve over the course of the year last year, despite some injuries that resulted in it being a little bit thinner than you'd like, or a lot thinner than you would like for it to be. But there was definitely improvement. It's the same as what we're talking on the offensive side with familiarity, understanding. There's quite a change. I was around Braylon Hubbard the other day at an event, and and ask him the question point blank, how different is it running what Coach Womack wants run as opposed to what Coach Saban wanted with his defense? And he said, it's massive. He said, in terms of the scheme. And so there was the learning curve involved there, but also just having more guys. And look, you saw Malachi Moore before I did because you covered him in high school. We know what a player he is and what a loss that is. But with, the whole strength in numbers deal, I think we've got that now in the back half of the defense. The front half, understanding more of what they want done. Plus, you got veterans, like Tim Keenan, kind of leading the charge on that front. A lot of talented guys, but more of them than we had 12 months ago. And with everybody having a better understanding of what needs to be done and more guys available to you, I can't help but think, especially long term, as we go through a full, tough grind of a season, that the situation is going to be much better, and we'll be in a much better position come playoff time than we were a year ago.
How surprised are you, Chris, that you're going to be calling another game coached by Gus Malzahn, but as an OC this time?
I had no clue where you were going until I heard Gus Malzahn. I thought you were just going to quit with how shocked are you that you're getting to call another game? And I would say tremendously so. No, I mean, it is, I will say this, and I can't remember which of, I think it was Corey Reamer that made the comment the other night when he was sitting in on Hey Coach with me. He said, I'm so thankful we're catching this guy early rather than late because they're still trying to figure everything out, or you hope they are, there in Tallahassee, because as he goes through the year is when he starts to have more of the bag of tricks he can go to. And as we know, he was as successful as anybody was, probably more so against Coach Saban in scheming for him and coming up with ways to move the football and do some amazing things. Those things do take time, and it's better to catch somebody like that early than late. That being said, I have no doubt that they will have a team, especially early in the game, will have a chance to move the football. How many times did Nick say? I can't tell you how many times I sat down with him to do his TV show afterwards. And, an offense would score on the first drive, cut through us like a hot knife through butter. And he would say, well, as is typical, they ran stuff that we hadn't seen all year from them. It's stuff that they've never done, caught us off guard, and until we could make the adjustments and get settled down, we kind of had to weather the storm. Well, there's probably going to be an element of that, but I still think overall Florida State won't be as good at running what he wants run until later in the year. So hopefully that kind of evens out. It makes it where frankly, just the better team wins. And I believe going in, Alabama's the better team, but we're going to find out in a week and a half down at Doak Campbell.
We will spend a lot more time, obviously, next Wednesday previewing that matchup between Alabama and Florida State. But, Chris, we're ecstatic that you are back for another season here on Three Man Front, and it's made possible by our good friends at Craneworks.
Yeah, David Upton and Craneworks have been, I know, a big part of your show for years, and thankful that they've given me the opportunity to kind of represent them with you each week. We know Craneworks is the most trusted name for crane and equipment rental in the Southeast. It's well over 35 years or 30 years now that they've been doing that. They got a fleet of cranes ranging from 2.5 tons to 500. They also offer trained and certified operators and make sure the job is done right. They've got locations throughout the Southeast, Birmingham, Nashville, Mobile, and now in Huntsville as well. You can go online to learn more at craneworks.com.
That is Chris Stewart. Chris, welcome back to the show. We look forward to catching up next week as we will be game week for Alabama and Florida State. Have a good rest of your, I guess, the final weekend off for a while, so enjoy it.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much.
That's Chris Stewart joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Our friends at the Finnick want to remind you there's no better place in town to enjoy sports and music than right there at the Finnick. It's near Railroad Park. The Finnick's your front row seat for the best entertainment. They got massive screens, explosive sounds from every seat in the house. The experience is bigger, brighter, and bolder. Their new restaurant menu, it's certainly worth cheering for. It's got wings that win MVPs and wood-fired grilled burgers stacked like your favorite fantasy team. Steak's so good, you're going to forget there's a game on. And top it off with delicious salads, fresh seafood, and a large selection of Finnick beverages. The Finnick's new 6-day schedule includes live acoustic music beginning tonight. It's Wednesday through Friday from 5:30 to 8, followed by live bands 10 o'clock on Fridays. Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays, all dedicated to sports. No live music to get in the way. We're going to see you at the Finnick this football season. Can't wait to see you there. 1630 2nd Avenue South near Railroad Park.
Coming up on the program, a good friend of the show, someone that you're going to hear every Friday talking high school football. Kyle Parmalee is going to join us right here on Three Man Front. Always great to catch up with Chris Stewart, the voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. He will be with us each and every Wednesday right here on Three Man Front. A regular guest during the high school football season, Kyle Parmalee from Starnes Media. He joins us in studio, and we have in our hands, Landrum, the brand new edition of Under the Lights, the 2025 Pret Football Preview.
I love the way it
If
smells.
If you're watching us on YouTube, that's a look at the cover. This is the Bible. You know, so many people say, okay, I need the Phil Steele's magazine. That's what I need for the entire football season. For me, and I've told you this, Kyle, I'm not placating to you. I've told you this for years since you guys have had this out. This is when I get this in my hand, when you deliver it, this is when I know high school football is officially here.
It sure is here. So I appreciate that. It's a lot of work, a couple months of really diving into all the teams that we've got on that magazine. And, you think and you write so much over the summer and put it all together. And now it's all about to be useless in a few days because they're about to actually play football games.
How difficult is it? Is it as difficult as it is for guys at the college level like Phil Steele with the transfer portal? I mean, all of the turnover that you have
Wait.
from
Are you
roster
saying
to
that
roster.
kids
No, I meant
transfer in
turnover.
high school?
I meant turnover. I'm
Wait.
sorry.
Do they transfer in high school?
They do.
In Birmingham?
But as long as they're
in 7A?
But as long as it's
do they transfer?
Pat, it's got to be a bona fide move. Just you've got it's just got to be bona
Because
fide.
it's about the kids.
It is about the kids.
It's about the kids. Okay, go ahead.
Does that make it difficult?
I think the teams change a little bit more from the spring to the over the summer period than maybe they used to.
Yeah, they do. Oh, it's housing markets.
Kyle's like,
they pop at different times.
Why is
Kyle.
Pat and Landrum trying to send me down a road that's going to get me in trouble?
Sometimes parents want to change jobs and move cities right before the start of the football season.
Well, hey, I'll tell you, one of the perks of finding the Under the Lights magazine, there is a story in there of some coaches being quite candid about player movement and some of the other topics.
It seems to be a hot topic among coaches and booster clubs.
There was a coach last night in Metro Birmingham. He was tweeting about transfers. Did you see that last night?
Who was it?
I believe that was the current head coach of Thompson High School.
They've gotten a few in their day, right?
Yeah, he had some interesting things that he put on Twitter about transfers. So,
but it's all above board.
Of course.
Man, Winona's got a cool logo. I like that dragon.
All right, so you're going to be on the show Friday, and we'll get into the actual schedule on Friday. So, in regards to Birmingham Metro, doesn't matter the classification. You followed this for a very long time. Do you sense that this is going to be a very strong year for high school football in the metropolitan Birmingham area? What do you say, or what are you feeling going into the season?
Yeah, I think based on a lot of the teams that I've kind of really worked on over the summer and tried to figure out who's what and who's going to be good, I think you're going to have a lot of the normal players. And you're going to have some teams that I think are kind of in a really good position to rise up. We end up talking about Class 7A Region 3 a lot because that's Hoover, that's Thompson, Vestavia, Hewitt-Trussville, Oak Mountain, on and on. And we've settled into this routine the last several years where it's been Thompson and Hoover are clearly at the top. Vestavia, Hills, and Hewitt-Trussville are clearly 3 and 4, and then the bottom 4. But I do sense that there's a little bit of rumbling in that bottom 4 between Oak Mountain and Prattville, that Hillcrest even, that may not be ready to make that jump to the playoffs. But I definitely think those teams are going to be a lot more competitive this year than they have been. So when you look at Region 3, I think Hewitt-Trussville is in position to have a great year. Vestavia is as well, but also some of those other teams might not be that far behind. So a region like that we talk about all year long, I think has the chance to be pretty compelling.
What about highly rated players in the Metro that you can think of? One in particular would be Clemson quarterback Brock Bradley, but who else?
Yeah, Spain Park quarterback Brock Bradley he's lived up to the hype, and it's really cool when you get one of those guys because you hear about these guys all the time coming up. Oh, watch out for this 8th grader or this freshman. But we started hearing about Brock when he was in 8th grade and how good he was going to be, and he's lived up to every bit of it. He's been the full-time starter at Spain Park the last 2 years, and he's primed for another great year, his senior year. One of the things that I think is really cool that has never happened in my time, putting together an all-South Metro team is all 3 of our players of the year are back. Brock was the player of the year last year. Mountain Brook running back Stuart Andrews was the offensive player of the year, and Hewitt-Trussville linebacker Parker Floyd was the defensive player of the year. All 3 of those guys are back for a senior year, and it's pretty exciting to see. After having such standout years, they're not gone. You get to see them for one more run at it. So there's a lot of guys that you already know are kind of the stars in this landscape that you're gonna know from week 1 this year.
I wanted to ask you about a couple of programs that we talk a lot about. They're not 7A, but let's start with Homewood. the Patriots, and they're a team that obviously a lot of people follow, and they expect to be extremely competitive again this year.
Yeah, they've been extremely competitive for the last decade plus, and I think they're going to be really good again. I've said a couple of times, I think they're going to be the team in my coverage area that is like takes that real
step.
big jump.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Caleb Carson's taken over at quarterback full time this year. He got forced into action late last year. He's been playing a lot of wide receiver in his career, but knowing that he's got that quarterback, he's got those skills. And when Will Myers got hurt last year, it was Caleb Carson's time to step in, be the starter, and wow, he was impressive. So Homewood is really looking for a big year from Caleb, and if they get that, they've got enough around him that they could be a really, really good team in 6A, probably flirting with a top 5.
Another team that we talk about a lot, Vestavia. Last year, their schedule was brutal. Not only the region that they have to play in, but their non-region games were brutal. Please tell me their schedule got better this year.
I wish I could tell you it got a lot easier, but it really didn't. I mean, they're starting with a state runner-up out of South Carolina this Friday night, and then they get Auburn the next week, who's really, really good. And then, it just keeps on coming because the region is that's no slouch either. But I do think they're going to be more prepared for it this year, at least coming out of the gates. I mean, last year they had so many young guys starting from day one.
And if I'm not mistaken, they were decimated with injuries.
They were banged up, and it was not pretty those first few games. But they hung with it and ended up having a really good season. And they just
end the season with Catholic.
Yeah, exactly. That's a state champion from last year too. So it's not easy, but they've got a lot more experience. Kind of that trial by fire thing that you hope really pays off down the road after what they went through last year.
We asked you this question about Metro Birmingham, but I want to ask you as a whole, the state, so to speak. When you talk about the state, most of the time you've got the eastern portion, especially in 7A, with Central Phoenix City, with Auburn, Opelika, those type teams. And then in South Alabama, you've got the likes of Fairhope. Of course, Baker was good last year, but their head coach is now at James Clemens up in Huntsville. As far as the state goes, do you see it kind of playing out like it has over the course of the last 5 to 6 years, or is there a couple of teams like a Metro Birmingham that could make some noise and come up?
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing we're going to be talking about a lot as you kind of get to the second half of the year and start to see the playoff picture develop. The 7A playoff bracket this year is it's not conducive to getting the best teams to the end. Region 2 and Region 3, which Region 3 we just talked about, all these Birmingham teams, and then Region 2 with Central, Auburn, Opelika, they're all matched up against each other this year in round 1 of the playoffs.
Wait, so I don't have to go to Mobile?
You don't have to go to Mobile in the first round. But that also means that the North and the South regions...
Now, that's assumption that I'm going to be doing a playoff game, but,
I think Hewitt Truss was a playoff team this year.
Okay.
But that's going to be a thing we're talking about is that playoff.
See, I didn't even
bracket.
realize that, Kyle. You just broke some news to me because I was like, are we, because being a 3 seed last year, we had to go to Baker.
Right.
That's a long way, a really long way. Molly had her parents drive her. I didn't have anybody drive me. I had to drive myself.
Yeah,
she's a passenger princess. Like, she gets carted off everywhere.
Isn't the sideline person the most important part of the broadcast?
You better
team?
believe it. Are you kidding me? She shows up literally 5 minutes before broadcast, and she's got an entourage.
Kyle, I can tell you at the college level, it's not.
It depends on who it is.
Yeah, I guess it does.
All right, so you were saying, okay, and is that the case for the other classifications too?
No, 7A has its own kind of playoff bracket deal because the coaches, they got tired of the same old thing.
Absolutely.
Every year
we were playing Huntsville
every single year.
Yeah, it was brutal.
And so as a way to placate that and try to switch it up a little bit, that's what they went to. And then so you started that last year.
So 1 through 6A, that's basically the same it's always been.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it too close, but it's definitely not exactly the same. They're in their normal rotations of who matches up with who.
Okay.
Before everybody freaks out on Friday night when they go watch their first high school football rule changes for 2025, anything noteworthy?
I don't think there's anything too crazy going on, but as long as you got 11 in the same uniform that run out on the field, they'll play a game.
Yeah. Are they still going to go crazy about making sure that your kneecaps aren't being shown?
They will in game 1, right?
Oh my gosh.
They always do that in game 1.
It was so brutal. Sending kids out of the game because now I'm not in favor of them looking like punters where they basically looks like you're wearing like short shorts, but it's like, oh my gosh, really? Like sending kids off because their kneecaps aren't covered by their pants. It's just whatever.
Well, the officials it's been ingrained in them all summer. Like, hey, you got to make sure this is done a certain way, and so everybody that first week is trying to emphasize the right
instant
things.
replay, that out?
Is it completely out?
Yeah.
No, I don't think. Well, I know that they've said that electronic equipment on the sidelines is okay, but you can't have in-helmet communication. I don't know about replay.
I can just tell you that when that was like a big deal in a few years ago in Region 3, I think there was only 2 schools that actually had the capability of doing it, and then it came down to just one school.
Yeah, it's a big discrepancy in who has that sort of technology, that it's almost like you show up to a game and realize, oh man, this school has the instant replay. Well, one coach has had 10 games worth of practice knowing what he can and can't review, and then the other sideline's like, well, this is the first time we've ever dealt with this. We don't really know what to do, and it's taking time away from coaching your football team because these coaches are worried about, wait a minute, how do I utilize this?
Quickly, before we let you go, on the instant replay, this is a funny story. So a couple of years ago, I will not name the opponent, and you're smiling, so I know you know what I'm about to say. They had instant replay. They challenged a call, and our cameras captured them on the sideline, and they had our feed from the Husky Fast Network on their sideline, and they were using that to help determine the call of that particular play.
Quite certain that's not legal.
Well, I said,
was the team Central Michigan?
Some guy that looked like Connor Stallions was on the sideline. It was crazy. So yeah, that's why I was curious if it was going to be around or not.
Yeah, it's something that I wish we could either like completely take away or fast forward to where most people have it, and it's not such a shock when you have those few teams that can utilize it.
Speaking of Michigan, do we have any Sharon Moore type suspensions that maybe a coach got suspended for maybe filming during a playoff game last year and that carries into this year?
I don't think that Opelika one carries into this year, but that was quite the stir in the playoffs last year, getting caught on the sideline at the Hoover game.
Well, and you got Rush Probst back at Coosa Christian, so.
You think that'll be interesting or boring?
It will not be boring.
Think there'll be a headline or two from that?
It depends if they win.
There's a lot potentially there.
Yeah.
Oh, they're a great football team in their division. Great
Should be
football
fun.
team.
A lot of overs.
All right, tell everyone where they can pick up their Under the Lights magazine. Couple locations.
Yeah, they should be out in the communities that are represented, but the Battery in Homewood, Buffalo Wild Wings on the 280 locations, places like that, you should be able to find them. And man, I'm ready to get it cranked up.
Absolutely.
You got them in grocery stores too?
They're places.
Okay.
Check the Pig in Homewood.
Yeah, Pig in Homewood is one I was going to ask you about.
Yes, for sure.
That's his home. It's his home field. It's where he buys his.
You hang out in there a lot?
His milk and cookies.
Sometimes I don't even go in there to shop.
He just hangs out.
Yeah.
You tell him about the Jags on Friday nights?
I wear my Spain Park gear.
It goes over well in Homewood.
No, I paid taxes and went to Homewood.
All right, Kyle Parmalee, we will talk to you Friday at 1 o'clock.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
It's always great to see you. More three-man front here on Jox. It is 11:37. Welcome back. This is Jox, three-man front. You know, water does not need an invitation. It can find its way into your crawl space, bringing along mold, mildew, pests, and wood rot. But APS has the solution. The APS crawl space encapsulation system seals out moisture, blocks pests, and can even help reduce your energy bills. Call APS today, 951-9717, or you can visit their website, alabamaprofessional.com. APS, protecting Alabama homes since 1977. Appreciate Kyle Parmalee joining us. You need to pick up one of these magazines. It's fantastic. Under the Lights. It is the guide in high school football across the Birmingham metropolitan area, and it will be here. Games start up Friday night, so we will talk to Kyle on Fridays at 1 o'clock. He'll give us a little preview of what he's covering over the weekend and just talk high school football with us each and every week. If you're just now tuning into the program, one of the lead stories that we were talking about at the beginning of the show, we had an interview scheduled with the UFL's Vice President of Operations, that is Daryl Moose Johnston. They reached out to us yesterday and asked us if we wanted to have a conversation with Moose. And we said, absolutely, that'd be great. So we lined it up for 1 o'clock. We promoted it. And then minutes before we went on the air this morning, we were notified by a UFL official that Moose Johnston was no longer available for an interview. So we just wanted to be honest. We wanted to obviously pull the curtain back and let everybody know that it was not something on our end. It was something on the UFL end. So you can take that for what it's worth. Not saying that there was something that, caused him at the last minute. Maybe it was a scheduling snafu. Not really sure. But for a franchise that it appears is being held hostage right now, Landrum, it's kind of odd to me that at the last minute he's no longer available after they're the ones that reached out to us to begin with.
Yeah. The skeptic in me says that we were going to ask some questions that potentially somebody in that office didn't want addressed or maybe addressed at this time. But like we said, it could have been something else. It just came up on Moose's schedule, and it could have been personal, it could have been business. We don't know, but all we know is he's not going to be on today at 1, and we have not confirmed another time that we've been able to reschedule.
Meanwhile, the billionaire businessman that has bought into the UFL, Mr. Rapoli, he sent out a tweet last night saying that Birmingham has sold 1,392 season tickets and one suite. If you remember, he said that had to get to 5,000, or obviously the city of Birmingham was potentially going to lose its UFL franchise. There was someone that purchased a suite, and in the benevolent fashion that Mr. Rapoli is, he gave us credit for 200 season tickets sold because someone bought a suite. So we're now up to 1,600 if you're keeping score at home. So still got to get 3,400 of you to give your hard-earned money to the UFL, but that is the goal apparently, or you will not have a spring football franchise.
Somebody told me the other day, I did not confirm it, but this is hearsay, and so we do confirm it. But they had asked me, do they typically have sales on Stallions merchandise 70% off? And I thought, well, 70, that's a lot, but I don't know. Do you guys know?
I do not. I do know that in the offseason for all the teams, because they're trying to, they either have new deals with new suppliers, because like a couple years ago, for example, Under Armour provided them with a lot of their gear. Well, then the next year, Under Armour was not a supplier. And so
you got to get rid of that stuff while you can still make a little bit of money.
Correct. So, maybe it was a situation where they're just trying to clean out the warehouse and they've got some new folks that's going to come in the league next year. Not really sure. Or it could be the Stallions are about to be defunct and they want to sell the stuff at the lowest price possible. I don't know.
When's the cutoff date? I know that we had a week to have.
When did he tweet the original one?
It's on Saturday or Sunday.
So maybe we got until Sunday.
I would, yeah.
So we just wait if
nice.
If they're not fulfilled, if the 5,000 doesn't get met, we wait for the shoe to drop, find out what they're going to do.
I think so.
Okay.
Tune into Rapoli's Twitter account, I guess. That's the only place you're getting You're getting very little information there, but at least you're getting something.
And I will say this. The people of Birmingham in this market, they love football. They're great. The passion is incredible. And seeing Molly people on Twitter, on social media, take some of the things that we have said and tweet at Rapoli and the league itself, because it is disappointing. We always talk about transparency on this show, especially with the college football playoff. And here we're just wanting transparency. I mean, if you've got a guy that's saying, okay, you got to sell 5,000 tickets. Okay, well, let's talk to someone from the UFL and let's find out if that's a real number. If we sell 4,500 tickets, does that mean that we don't have a team anymore because we fell short? Is that a legitimate number? Are you willing to leave a market in which it's the number one television rated market in your spring football league? Are you willing to do that? All those type questions we would have asked Moose Johnston today, but the UFL's not making him available after they asked us to put him on. So there's where we are.
And you did have earlier this morning, if you missed it, where the Birmingham Stallions took one of the tweet we're talking about with Rapoli, where he mentioned the 1,300 tickets that have been bought. The Stallions retweeted that and attached a link to buy season's tickets with it. So they have put that out there this morning as well from their official account.
Okay.
Maybe this is playing out just like Rapoli wanted it to.
Maybe so.
Can't wait to see how many season tickets they sell in Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, I think you'd be happy with 9,100 people on average attendance in Boise. I think
What if
that'd be quite remarkable.
What if the Harsons buy all the tickets and they give them out to local kids?
That'd be nice. 1-800-239-WJOX. When we come back, we'll open up the phone lines. We'll also get to your text messages on this Wednesday edition of Three Man Front. 1147, welcome back in. This is Three Man Front. Phone lines are open at 1-800-239-WJOX if you would like to have a conversation about the UFL or you want to perhaps continue the conversation from yesterday. I know it was covered for a very long time about the Auburn situation. We'll play you some audio next hour of our good friend down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who had some interesting comments about Auburn claiming 7 new national championships. But I want to tell everybody, if you're tired of worrying about your roof, do not worry any longer, because Abide Roofing and their 25 years of trusted experience, they are ready to serve you right now by you calling them at 205-941-6223. That's 941-6223. Or go to the website, abideroof.com. Quality, precision, customer satisfaction every single time. Whether it's a couple shingles that need to be replaced or a full roof replacement like I had to have, Travis Lloyd and his outstanding local roofing team, they are ready to serve you. And how about that free consultation and estimate? They're ready, once again, to serve you immediately. Call them, 205-941-6223. I saw Travis Lloyd on Friday night, and he was telling me about how many of you out there across central Alabama is taking advantage of this wonderful opportunity to get that free consultation and let them get on your roof and give you an honest assessment if you've got a problem or something down the road that they can help you with immediately. That's Abide Roofing, abideroof.com.
We're going to get to your phone calls, but first on the text line, Jimmy texts in and says, Jox had reported the USFL and the UFL was a TV market league, meaning TV membership or viewership trumped ticket sales. How has this changed? I don't understand. Actively trying to drive away the largest viewing market. We don't know what has changed, and that was our understanding. So there's a couple of possibilities out there. New ownership. This guy looks at things a totally different way, or he is going to use this as an excuse to move the team, and he thinks that the optics will say that it was justified. See, Birmingham doesn't care. Just my thoughts. Tom in Pell City. Hey, Tom. Tom. Giddy up. Hey, Chris.
What's going on, guys? So Sunday we're going to lose the Stallions. I guess so.
Did you wait a second? Did you buy season tickets?
No, I mean, if you think we're going to reach a goal that much, even worth buying the season tickets, but I don't even got the money to do it right now. It's paying my bills. What happened to professionalism in journalism and I guess in sports in general? Long gone are the days of Larry King, Kasem, and even the late great Stuart Scott. How have they placed it? Because it was shock jock engagement bait, slow work days, hot taking, and agenda pushing reporting. What happened to actually not being lazy for a story and actually having all the facts? Heck, even putting the blood, sweat, and tears into your sources and resources. Now you guys say the guy who wants to recant his statements about the state of the Stallions. Well, I mean, it's too late now.
True. The damage has already been done.
Yeah, the toothpaste is already back out the tube.
It could end up being right, by the way.
And the barbecue sauce isn't even in the bottle. It's already out the bottle. You can't start to spray it everywhere. You can't put it back in. So how do we fix this clear-cut epidemic?
You're not going to. I mean, it's just like the transfer portal and NIL. It is here to stay. I mean, anybody that can, like I said, anybody that can go to Best Buy and buy themselves a microphone, you can be a talk show host. You can do a podcast. Anybody that's got a computer, they can write a blog. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that there's not some talented people out there that take their job seriously and are responsible so-called journalists. But everyone on this radio show has a degree in either broadcasting or journalism. And we take that very seriously. And so we want to have fun. We want to entertain. We want to inform. And listen, I learned from the very best. I mean, I grew up in this business working side by side every single day with Paul Feinbaum. And you can either hate him or love him or whatever the case may be, but he was a journalist first and foremost. Yeah, we like to have fun, and we cut up on the show, and we did things. Neil Vickers was an integral part of what we did, but he was a newsman. We took it very seriously, and that's what we do on this show. And, yeah, we're going to be tongue-in-cheek, and we're going to say certain things and try to make your day fun. But at the end of the day, we're gonna try to be right before we're first. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people now in this podcast world is they just want to put stuff out there and get clicks, and they're not worried about the story being right.
Burr, how are you?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Actually, I'm a little irritated right now. Listen, I got a chance to call real quick. As far as I'm concerned, guys, you know I'm a big Stallions fan. Guys, you know it. But as far as I'm concerned, and this isn't towards Skip or the players, they can take the first train out of town. As far as I'm concerned, I'm tired. I'm done. Like I told you guys, I was one of those ones out there in the rain, the first championship game when nobody showed up from the team. Don't give us these ultimatums and tell us what we should do. And Birmingham is always there supporting and this, that, and the other. It's just insulting to me. And like I was saying, they can take the first train out of town. I'm ready to go on anyway. You're not a professional league, you're a development league, all right? So don't insult us like that. I'm just at the point I'm ready for them to go, to be honest. And y'all know I'm a big fan, but
yeah,
that's irritating, man. It really is.
Well, if you wanted the Stallions to say it's not a good sign because you are a fan, we know you support the Stallions. Chris is a fan. Heck, he stands in the end zone, all weather conditions, with his shirt off, cheering them on. He said he's not buying season tickets, and you said take the first train out of town.
First train out. I literally cleaned out my basement to get ready for football season 2 days ago, and I picked up my USFL cup that was on the shelf that I bought the first season. I threw it in the trash. The USFL didn't last long, so it's like, guys, anyway, I'm just frustrated. I just had to get it out, man.
No, hey, listen, Burr, you share the sentiment of a lot of people. I had an individual that has probably owned more season tickets for Birmingham franchises, and he has been a season ticket holder since day one of the Birmingham Stallions. He literally text messaged me last night. He had already purchased before this ultimatum came out. He had already purchased, renewed for next year. And he says, I'll be honest with you, this thing has made me sick to my stomach, this ultimatum that the UFL has given the city of Birmingham, that if I had not already purchased these tickets, I would basically not do it. I would not purchase the tickets again. So that says a lot for that says a lot for someone that has bought season tickets for almost every Birmingham sporting team that we have had.
And another thing, and I'm going to let you guys go. I'm kind of slow, so I didn't catch it until I listened to you guys a couple of hours ago when you said they're asking for this in a week, not before the season starts. And it's like there's college football that's about to start, school's about to start. Man, get out of here. Anyway, guys, I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow afternoon.
Thanks, Burr. We appreciate it. Now they're setting us up for failure, or he is.
How about this? So basically, it will be a news dump on the week of the start of the college football season. Like nobody in Birmingham, they're paying attention to Auburn on Friday night, Bama on Saturday.
Oh, they'll do it Friday, 3 hours
Thursday.
before Auburn Baylor kickoff.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't make the cut. All right, halfway home on this Wednesday. Keep it tuned right here to Jox. This is Three Man Front. It is 12 noon, halftime here on Three Man Front on Jox. Appreciate it very much. Joining us today, Chris Stewart from the Crimson Tide Sports Network joined us at 11 o'clock earlier. Brian Edwards talking a little bit about week 0 and week 1 coming up in the college football world. This weekend we'll get going with Farmageddon starting in Dublin, Ireland. That will be the first game of the college football season. We're all looking forward to that. High school football, Kyle Parmalee stopped by as well from Starnes Media. Brand new magazine out, Under the Lights. You can pick it up to where most places have magazines. And also, I believe he said Buffalo Wild Wings on 280, right? That was a location that you can go and get access to. We were scheduled to have a conversation with Moose Johnston from the UFL at 1 o'clock. Unfortunately, that has been canceled. No rhyme or reason given by the UFL, so take that information for what that is worth. 1-800-239-WJOX, 205-834-9450. Landrum, as we are just days away, some folks right under the wire, they're getting their last moment predictions for the college football season. And I know you were telling me about one during the break from Andy Staples from On3, had some interesting takes involving both Alabama and Auburn.
You did, Pat. 10 bold predictions for the 2025 college football season, according to Andy Staples. Number 1 on the list, get your jokes off now. Auburn is going to win at least 9 games. Andy goes on to say there have been so many reasons to make fun of the Tigers in the past week, different play callers based on the down, the possibility of playing 3 quarterbacks in the season opener at Baylor and claiming extra national titles after spending decades making fun of Alabama for doing the same thing. But he goes on to talk about the quarterback room, all 3 of those quarterbacks, and goes on to talk about the edge rusher and Keldrick Falk. Says Tigers have perhaps their best offensive line in 10 years thanks to increased competition. And the addition of Virginia Tech transfer Xavier Chaplin also mentions the wide receiver core and asks the question, will Hugh Freeze get mad and throw his quarterback, whoever that may be, at the time, under the bus? Maybe, but he said, I'll take the talented roster, manageable for an SEC schedule. Trust Freeze and the Tigers can overcome any press conference issues by being good enough on the field to turn what were close losses last year into wins this year.
All right, so he's got them winning 9 games.
Yes.
Okay.
We won't go in depth on this, but number 2, he's got Notre Dame will land a top 4 seed in the college football playoff.
Okay.
Number 3, James Franklin of Penn State will beat a top 5 team for the first time since 2016.
Goodness.
That was back when they upset then number 2 Ohio State. Number 4, Alabama. Will win the SEC title.
How about that, Conrad?
I know that would make him happy.
These are bold predictions?
Yeah. You can look at it one of 2 ways. I see you're looking at it the other way.
I believe we all voted for them to win the SEC title in Atlanta, did we not?
Yes, but I think we were the few who did. So now Andy knows that they have the ingredients to do it. So now his bold prediction, they're going to be like, oh, Andy, you're a genius. When 3-man front, we voted him. See what I'm saying?
Just wanted to give us a little pat on the back.
Andy goes on to say, my prediction for Alabama's success keeps rising as the season gets closer. Why? The Crimson Tide simply have too good of a roster to lose the way they lost to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma last year, Conrad. Kalen DeBoer's second season will be much better. In my last way too early college football playoff projection, I thought Alabama would make the field but wouldn't get a top 4 seed. Now, I'm envisioning a win against Texas and Atlanta and a bye into the quarterfinals.
Wow, so he's predicting Alabama to beat Texas in Atlanta.
RTR,
wow.
The number 4 life. I added that. Andy didn't put that.
Wow, he made Auburn and Alabama fans happy.
I know.
In the same article.
That's kind of what we're talking about.
That's tough.
Well, he knows what's going on.
Number 5, Ohio State will beat Michigan for the first time since 2019.
It's just funny that that's a bold prediction. But I mean, yeah, it's been a minute.
Utah. A year after going 5-7, the Utes are going to play for the Big 12 title. Moving on.
I was just saying, I saw someone yesterday that had Devin Dampier as one of their Heisman finalists. And I was like, oh, okay.
Keep forgetting he's there.
I mean, he's very good.
He is very good.
He's very good, but we'll see.
Number 7 on the list, bold predictions by Andy Staple for the college football season. Bill Belichick's first North Carolina team will win fewer than 7.5 regular season games. Bold on, but depends on who you ask.
Yeah, think that's where a lot of people are right now.
He's also got Tulane. Who is their quarterback again?
Not Darian Mensah.
BYU quarterback.
Oh,
transfer.
yeah, that's right. Retzloff. Jake Retzloff.
He is there. Goes on to say they're going to be a group of 5 team that makes the college football playoff. I wish Molly was in here for this, but with Iowa's quarterback, Mark Gronowski, they're going to have a functional offense. That's all.
I love that.
Functional.
They're going to have a functional offense.
What a backhanded compliment.
And last but not least, bold predictions for the college football season. Arch Manning will have an excellent season and be back in college football in 2026.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, he brought it today.
Yeah, like Conrad said, it's very odd that you can make both Alabama and Auburn fans happy at the same time. That last prediction you said about Arch Manning. So nearly 2 weeks after Archie Manning made headlines for comments about his grandson, Arch, not declaring for the 2026 NFL draft, and instead Archie saying that his grandson was going to stay at Texas next year, Arch Manning spent part of his media availability on Tuesday afternoon to Texas answering a question that only he could get. Was Grandpa right about him staying or going at Texas?
Yeah, I don't know where he got that from. He texted me and apologized about that, but I'm really just taking it day by day right now.
Wow. Saying, Granddad, I have no idea where you got that from, that he was going to be at the University of Texas. Or do you think that was maybe Arch negotiating in public for a
Arch,
new
it's your
NIL
granddad.
deal?
I misspoke. I shouldn't have done it. I tell you what, this is how we're going to cover it. You're just going to blame it on me and my age.
Yeah, because, I mean, again, it's like when this first came out a couple weeks ago and we talked about it. You would be stupid, whoever you are, if you are a projected top 10 pick in the NFL draft, to not go into the NFL draft that year. So maybe that'll be Arch Manning. Maybe it won't be Arch Manning, but yeah, that I don't think anybody really believed that. I mean, if he goes and wins the Heisman, Texas wins a national championship, he's the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Why
Do you actually think that Archie misspoke?
No.
I don't either.
No, I've known Archie a very long time.
Yeah.
He does not misspeak.
No, he's like Greg Sankey.
Yes, it's all very calculated.
He's going to be very careful with the words that he crafts.
Well, I think he's also looking at it. Well, this is what Eli did. This is what Peyton did. Worked out quite well for them. So why wouldn't Arch do the same thing?
So I was listening yesterday. I was off the second half of the show. Great coverage yesterday on the Auburn National Championship celebration. And so as we wrapped up that conversation, did you get a feeling one way or another, or was it along party lines in regards to, yay, they should have accepted and gone the route of acknowledging those championships, or no, it's pretty ridiculous, or was it pretty even?
I would say probably more of, at the end of the day, it was Alabama fans like Conrad that said, why not? We've done it. Okay, fine. This doesn't change things. Auburn fans saying, why not do it? I would say more people either indifferent, don't care, or thought it was a positive than a negative.
Okay. Well, one individual that you hear a lot of criticism in regards to on his radio show, and it's typically towards the University of Alabama. It's a good friend of ours. We love Matt Moscona at ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge. He typically goes after the Bammers. He typically goes after people like Conrad. All the time.
Low-hanging fruit.
Well, yesterday, let's just say he decided that he was going to turn his venom to the loveliest village on the plains. He starts out... Who was that?
That was like a cat hissing.
Oh, okay. He started out this diatribe that you're about to hear discussing Justin Hokanson's article. He writes for Auburn Live. Is that correct? Is that right?
Yeah, he's on 3.
On 3? Okay. This is what he had to say about Justin Hokanson and yesterday's declaration of 7 new national championships.
The lead of his piece over at Auburn Sports is, it's about time Auburn football, italicized, finally will claim bold 9 deserving and legitimate college football national championships. Like, you want to talk about editorializing a news report, italics, bold, and qualifiers like finally, deserving, and legitimate. Everyone is making fun of Auburn today, and everyone should be making fun of Auburn today. We literally have an athletic director, a grown adult human today, who makes 7 figures a year and runs a $100 million athletic department that is claiming 7 national titles dating all the way back to 1910. Like, do you realize how fundamentally absurd this is? In what sport, in what reality, in what world would this make sense in anything else? History right now is laughing at college football because of how stupid this postseason has been for so long, where something like literally, in the 1913 title that Auburn claims, it says it right here, Billingsley MOV, margin of victory. Auburn's claiming a 1913 national title because of their margin of victory. That's fundamentally absurd. If you're going to look at today and make fun of Auburn for claiming 7 national titles they didn't win, and then defend college football and say we don't need an expanded playoff, you are a hypocrite. There's no other way around it. You are the problem. This is the reality of college football. That some jackass 115 years later can claim a national title and hang a banner and everyone's like, oh, that's normal. Do you understand how absurd that sounds? It's stupid. John Cohen, you are stupid. It's a stupid thing to do. Every Auburn fan that's celebrating, you are stupid. But that's college football. And the fact that anyone would accept this is normal. But college football, we love it in spite of itself because it is the stupidest sport ever because of crap like this. That an athletic director can claim 7 titles his school did not win and pass them off as legitimate, and we think, oh, that's normal. If there has ever been a clearer example of how stupid college football is, this is it. Thank God we have a 12-team playoff. Thank God we're going to get to 16, and I hope the Big Ten commissioner gets his way, and we go to 24, 28, and ultimately 32. In one place, 32, and so on, and you have a real, actual playoff. So 100 years from now, some stupid-ass athletic director doesn't come down the pipe and say, you know what? We won the Matt Moscona championship in 2036, and so we're going to fly a flag.
Matt Moscona, ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge, his thoughts on John Cohen being a jackass and stupid, and Auburn fans being stupid.
Well, that kind of reaction. Woo. Get that fired up. Man, I guess it had the effect that maybe some Auburn fans wanted it to have. I mean, this bothered a lot of people like Matt. I don't know why it's such a big deal. I understand some of what he's saying, but have we gone back? Let's go back and peel through all of the claimed national championships that the NCAA does recognize. And let's break down those schedules and who they played.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's the point. I think the point is the fact that the NCAA recognized those as whatever the standard was at that particular time. That's your national champion.
The point is, John Cohen is saying it without saying it. We think that some of these national championships that schools are using as their banner on their flag in their pamphlet that they've been bragging about, we think that those are ridiculous. So let's claim our own ridiculous national titles to put in our pamphlet, put inside of our stadium to sell with our brand.
See, and I still go with the idea that you said yesterday, right? Would this be a big deal if you just added the years on the scoreboard or somewhere in Jordan-Hare Stadium and the fans got to see and went, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I don't think people would be all up in arms about it. It's the fact that they went and made a press release about it, and they tried to make it into a story, and then people are going to take that.
I would understand if they were coming into the LSU Hall of whatever they call it, and that 1958 national championship trophy was taken out of there, and they were officially unrecognized as national champions. Why get so upset? How does this bother you so bad? I'm talking about Matt in particular, and I love Matt, but golly, almost popped a blood vessel in his head. I love that graphic, by the way. That reminded me of Conrad's hot chip challenge.
So do you think that upsets Auburn people when your athletic director is called a jackass and he's stupid and Auburn fans are stupid for accepting this?
I mean, I guess if you're 7 and you're on a playground.
I think that probably upsets some people.
Well,
here's my question. So when is the Terry Bowden statue going to be built outside Jordan-Hare?
It already has been. You just didn't see it.
It's too small.
It's too short.
What about the Tommy Tuberville? Hey, I will tell you this.
They're waiting until he gets elected governor.
So one of my fraternity brothers,
3, senator, governor, head coach.
One of my fraternity brothers that you guys have met at Social Taco, Neil Schroeder, lives up in Moulton. Big Auburn guy. He texted me this morning. I want to say congratulations to the Schroeder family because Auburn is now acknowledging that 1913 team. His grandfather played on that team. So
That's pretty cool.
So he has a national championship winning grandfather that played on the 1913 Auburn football team. How about that?
That is cool.
So,
do we have any Nike gear yet? With all the championships.
That was the biggest blunder of all, that you didn't have national championship shirt ready to go for all of the new national championships that you claimed yesterday.
And it was just
not
like
good business.
And just like I was reading articles like the 2004. Again, you can debate all you want to. It was a great team. They weren't going to lose, whatever the case may be. I covered them on a daily basis in 2004. They should have played for the national championship. The bottom line is they didn't. So you can't award a national championship to a team that didn't have an opportunity to. I mean, this was not the standard. So, but again, if that's what makes you feel good and you want to declare things, I'm sure people on Rocky Top declare that Peyton Manning is the Heisman Trophy winner, not Charles Woodson. If that's what makes you feel better and you can sleep good at night, live in your own fantasy world, so be it. More three-man front, this is Jox. It is 12:21 on Jox. This is Three Man Front. Thanks for tuning us in. Pat, Molly, Conrad, Landrum with you until 2 o'clock.
Well, as we know, the Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal, but don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Trane cooling system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand for 11 consecutive years, and they're the official cooling partner here at Jox. So go and find a comfort specialist near you at Trane.com.
We welcome your calls at 1-800-239-WJOX. The Courtesy GMC text line is also open as we get ready for the start of the college football season. It will be Farmageddon coming up on Saturday morning in Dublin. I already saw some AI stuff from Kansas State fans because the general feeling is that Kansas State is going to have a ton of people. They're like Nebraska, not taking a shot. This is truth. They travel extremely well, and they believe that Dublin is going to be painted purple.
Anything to leave town is what you're saying.
But the
Hey,
AI,
Manhattan's a cool place.
but the AI that it's incredible. Like the stuff that it's also scary. The stuff that they've done AI that makes you think that all these people are in downtown Dublin.
Yeah.
You know, it's like 100,000 like Kansas State fans, which it's not. I'm sure there's going to be multiple thousands there, but to the point to where it made you go, whoa. And they go, oh, yeah, that's AI. Hasn't happened yet.
This is a fun first matchup for this particular game. I mean, it was an exciting, compelling game, and not that we haven't had those in past years, but two top 25 ranked teams getting us started on a Saturday before noon. Hallelujah. Text line's open, 205-834-9450. Back to Matt Moscona's rant about Auburn claiming 7 national titles yesterday. This one reads, if Mr. Cohen can make up lies, more power to him. Official records did not support any of the 1900s claims. Thank you for the text. What is it about the schools in the state of Alabama that give... it's not his name. Matt Moscona all riled up. That was my thing. If you want to disagree or criticize or make fun, I'm all about it. But you're about to blow a blood vessel in your head.
And before that diatribe that you heard him go on, he took a shot at Alabama, basically saying that collectively Alabama and Auburn have now claimed more bogus national championships than anybody else can actually claim real national championships. So I think I'm going to call Matt after we get off the air, before he goes on the air, and I'm going to say, look, I know you've got a problem with the state of Alabama, so I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to call Mike Griffith, and it's going to be on my dime. I am going to rent Mike's place for the weekend, and I want you and your wife to come experience the wonderful state of Alabama and the white sand beaches of Gulf Shores, Alabama.
I hang out with LSU fans down there all the time. He'd fit in perfectly.
I want him to enjoy the state of Alabama, so maybe he will change some of this negativity towards Alabama and Auburn fans.
I want to ask him, when it comes to the real Death Valley, does he get this fired up? Clemson claims it's the real Death Valley. LSU does. I prefer the LSU version as an SEC homer. But can we settle that? Because we have two schools claiming to be the real Death Valley. I didn't blow a blood vessel. If this isn't embarrassing for you as an Auburn fan, you're that guy. The years are already up inside the stadium.
Wait, did he say if you're not embarrassed by this as an Auburn fan?
If this isn't embarrassing for you as an Auburn fan, you're that guy. Are you embarrassed, Conrad, as an Alabama fan with a 3?
Well, and that's what I go back to is, again, I said it yesterday and some people got mad and were like, you don't speak for the whole Alabama fan base. No, I don't. But if you're an Alabama fan and you want to claim 18 titles, that's fine. That's what I claim. But you can't be hypocritical and then get on to Auburn for claiming national championships that aren't recognized by the NCAA, because that's what Alabama fans have been doing for decades.
Landrum, lifelong Auburn fan. Matt is right. What he's saying is it's wrong is wrong, even if everyone is doing it. Okay.
I guess it's like when you were growing up and your mom would say, well, if your friends go jump off a bridge, are you going to do that too? Like, well, is there water? What are we talking about here?
It kind of ties into when Auburn took their stance on recruiting until the August 1st thing, right? Their interpretation of the rules. My thing was, I'm not saying that it's right, but if 135 other schools are recruiting a certain way and you're doing it this way, is the NCAA going to go after 135 other schools?
Do we think he would have this much venom for LSU if LSU's athletic department came out and said, hey, we've gone back through the record books and we're now going to claim 2 additional national championships for LSU football?
Because LSU wasn't good enough to even go and claim that.
I'm just, if the shoe was on Matt Moscona's foot, would he still be having the same sentiment? Maybe he would. But
And we were talking about this during the break. All kidding aside, honestly, if you were really going to count only the legitimate national champions, you probably should go 1936 on. Anything claimed before 1936, because that's really not the modern age of football. Not to mention the fact that you had a couple of national standards start in 1936 in regards to the Associated Press poll. Then you had the UPI. That was a standard up until the coaches poll, like in 1981, 1982. And then that took over for UPI. So you had 2, and then you had the BCS in 1998. Then you had the college football playoff in 2014. So if you really want to get down to brass tacks, that's probably where you're gonna shave a bunch of these off Alabama and some other programs that claim that, because from 36 on is when people legitimately started considering that a legitimate national championship.
Sorry, Minnesota. That's 2 of your national titles. Michigan, 1 of them's out. USC, 2, out. Alabama, 1930, out. Notre Dame, same for you. Notre Dame, same for you.
Well, Alabama's some in the 20s. too.
Alabama, Stanford, 1926. Sorry. 1925, Alabama. Nope.
So is that 3 gone
so
from
we really
Alabama?
do have 15 national championships.
What were the years? 1910, Harvard and Pitt. We talked about that yesterday. 1914, Army.
And Auburn now. Well, and what was the stat that you had yesterday, Pat? Wasn't 1901 the first year that a non-Ivy League school won a national championship?
Yeah, they started playing football or giving so-called national champions in 1869, and it wasn't until 1901 in which a non-Ivy League team, and I think it was Michigan, won the national championship.
You're telling me this is the centennial anniversary of Alabama winning that 1925 national title? 100 years later,
It's going to be a big celebration before the Louisiana-Monroe game. Big one.
By the way, Illinois, they lose 1 too.
Oh, man.
Oh, Poor Bert. He'll have to go get himself one.
Man, that's disappointing.
Tim from Coleman, I just decided I won a national championship in ping pong in 1986. I went undefeated that whole year on the ping pong table in our basement. Put a banner up. Get a ring. John Mack says, yes, my Aggies get to keep their only natty 1939.
Woo! Man, you were 3 years, 3 years earlier, and we'd be having a different conversation.
Bobby says, whether you agree with Moscona or not, I will say LSU claimed championships like Auburn did yesterday. He would indeed be just as fired up about it, because as critical as he is about Alabama and Auburn, he's just as critical, if not worse, about LSU.
Now, I will say, if you've ever watched his reaction videos after LSU loses a football game, he's very critical and distraught.
And I think the other underlining point he was trying to make is the fact that we should have an expanded playoff, so we wouldn't have all these question marks every single year about stuff.
This one rolls in. Love the show as always. What SEC football coach gets fired this season? Who are we going with, guys? You got potential. You could go maybe more of a long shot with Hugh Freeze. You got Brent Venables, Stoops. Could we see a departure there, whether voluntarily? Can't see him firing him.
Oh, man, I love him, but I think you got to go Sam Pittman right now.
Sam Pittman?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Levy gets more time even if they go 2-10?
Yeah, I think he gets one more year. But hey, this time last year, we thought Billy Napier was the easy option, and we saw how that turned out for him. So maybe Arkansas will do the same thing.
Barry in Cahaba Heights. How many days ago was the ultimatum given by the new UFL owner?
5 days ago, August 15th.
He goes on to text, doesn't seem to be a bold strategy, rather a softening of the punch. Maybe so.
Yep. So by the...
Lay us down easy.
It'll be interesting because, as Pat brought it up, or he asked earlier, so this post by Rapoli was put up on Friday, August 15th, asking for 5,000 season ticket deposits. So does that mean that we get until Friday? Do we get until Sunday? What is the ultimate deadline?
It'd probably be a Friday news dump. Or right before kickoff of Farmageddon, he will drop the hammer.
This is good right here. Holy hell. I never realized how fun claiming natties would be. Props to Bama and other teams doing this first. I love this. Signed, Auburn fan.
We will continue with your text, your calls. This is Three Man Front on Jox. Welcome back to Three Man Front on this Wednesday. Hopefully, we'll get to see a lot of you tomorrow night at the Birmingham Barons game. It is the Jox kickoff party. You've heard Molly incessantly talking about it for weeks. So hopefully you took advantage of the opportunity to win some tickets. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.
I'm so excited.
You pumped?
I'm so pumped.
You ready? You got good weather for us scheduled for tomorrow night?
Well, let's hope Mother Nature cooperates.
Are you wearing pants or shorts?
I thought we were wearing tuxes. I thought you and I had gotten that figured out.
It looks like it will be good weather.
Good.
We're still doing
I was supposed to meet you at Brookwood Mall for a fitting.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Is that
Was it Brookwood Mall or Eastwood Mall?
Is
Where
it
were we
still
supposed
next to
meet?
that tobacco shop that has the?
It's right next to the mole hole.
The good smelling pipe tobacco. The mole hole.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do. It's so funny you remember that. It's so random.
I know. It's just
The mole hole.
how my mind works sometimes. So Langton was telling us earlier about some predictions that Andy Staples had. Good news, Auburn fans. He's predicting Auburn get 9 wins. Bama, SEC championship. Well, the staff writers for CBS.com, they have just listed their SEC expert picks of 2025, including the most overrated and underrated teams, projected order of finish, and bold predictions for 2025. We'll run through those real quick for you. The most overrated team, according to CBS Sports in the Southeastern Conference, they list Texas. That was Molly, by the way.
Molly, did you poot?
No. I was just
She did
reading
horns
the
down. Most overrated team has Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Florida, and Tennessee. Those are the most overrated teams according to CBS Sports. The most underrated team, LSU, Texas A&M, Missouri, Oklahoma. So Alabama and Auburn did not fit any of those categories, being either the most overrated or the most underrated. Bold predictions by some of their staff members at CBS about the SEC. Tom Fornelli, there will be no fewer than 3 interim coaches on the sidelines during rivalry week at the end of the SEC regular season. 3. Wow. Chip Patterson, Alabama will have a top 5 scoring defense nationally. The Crimson Tide have a pretty high floor when it comes to this category, annually ranking inside the top 20 and usually inside the top 15, but it's been a while since we looked in Tuscaloosa to find one of the country's truly talented defenses. Brandon Marcello, the SEC champion Texas finishes with 2 or 3 losses at Ohio State, at Georgia, and possibly Florida. John Talty, Florida starts the season in the top 15 and yet ends the year unranked after another grueling schedule deflates the Gators' hype balloon. Richard Johnson, powered by the best wide receiver room in the SEC, a budding running back stable, and great play in the trenches, Auburn is able to beat everyone they should on their schedule. Alabama, Georgia, and maybe Baylor are hills they will prove too tall to climb, but there's a lot to love about these Tigers. David Cobb, LSU will begin the season with a win at Clemson and finally reach the college football playoff. Brad Crawford, from preseason top 20 to unranked at year's end, Tennessee's 2025 season will be one to forget after making its first playoff appearance last fall. So in other words, they will crash and burn. And finally, Chris Hummer says LSU loses week 1 against Clemson, but still goes on to win the Southeastern Conference Championship. Clemson is a brutal week 1 matchup, but giving some time to settle into the season and transfer heavy group to get. I love how LSU's roster is built. The winner of the SEC could easily have 2 to 3 losses. So any of those like really jump out to you in regards to crazy, that's just bold, I ain't scared predictions? By the way, Brett Noseworthy will join the show tomorrow.
What did he say about LSU?
Well, you had a couple. You had one that said that they would lose in week 1, but they would rebound and ultimately win the SEC. And then you had another one said that they would lose at Clemson and not be a factor.
Yeah, I would go with the former rather than the latter, that they're still going to compete.
Even after a loss in week 1.
I'm not ready to buy in that LSU wins it all in the SEC. I just need to see more. Because we've seen some really talented Brian Kelly teams in the past. And this is going to no doubt be as talented. Or maybe even more talented. But schedule, that's going to be so tough to navigate. And you got to go to Bryant-Denny. That doesn't help. You got that revenge game with Ole Miss that they're probably licking. That's probably the game that Ole Miss over there in Hotty Toddy Land, Pat, that they've circled from last year. They remember Tiger
we've
Stadium.
circled it.
I think it's going to be really, really tough. So, yeah, maybe winning the SEC, that just
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the low-hanging fruit, which is Texas A&M being underrated. How can you be underrated at this point? I mean, you got to prove something on the field. I just, we're doing this every single year. We're doing it again this year. I know there's a lot of people that are high on A&M, and maybe this year will be the year that they break through and make it to Atlanta or make a college football playoff. But
it just seems like there's never that guy at quarterback where there's expectations. You've seen glimpses, whether it was Haynes King, whether it was, I mean, we'll go back
Wigman.
to Kellen Mond.
Yeah,
Wigman.
Yeah.
Now,
and I like Marcel Reed.
I do too.
I mean, you had an opportunity last year where no one was really paying attention to you. All you were going to really have to do was go and beat an Auburn team that was struggling on the road. You couldn't get that done. You lose in, 4 overtimes or whatever it was. Then you get stomped by Texas at the end of this. I just – why should I think that this year is going to be any different? And it very well may be, but I don't know why I should be expecting that right now.
I like the one no fewer than 3 interim head coaches by – rivalry week.
Yeah, that's big.
That's big.
But I'm like what Conrad just said. They listed LSU as an underrated team.
I don't think they're underrated.
I don't either. It's a situation that because of the way the top 3 or 4 teams in the conference is viewed currently, LSU's one of those teams. And you literally, and we said this before the vote came out in Atlanta, you can make an argument for any of those 4 to be 1, 2, 3, or 4. So I don't consider them underrated whatsoever because them being in Atlanta or the college football playoff would shock no one on this radio show.
Well, and I think you can make the same argument for Texas, right? Where maybe at the end of the year we look back and go, ooh, that was not the best team in the SEC. But based on, I mean, just about everybody has Texas as number 1 on paper going into the year. So I don't know how you can necessarily say they're overrated right now. But maybe they will be at the end of the year. I don't know. It's prediction.
It's almost to the time where we will not be referencing any type of offseason prediction for a very long time.
No, we get into the real meat and potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Better to forget it.
Yep. Won't have to deal with any of that.
You already have the game selected.
My question to you guys, and I'll let you vote.
That's a no.
No. It's a very limited. It's just like the office football pool begins next week. Does not begin this week.
So are we going to do better to forget it this week?
So that was my question. If you guys want to do it Friday, we will do it Friday for week 0. If not, we'll wait. You're the defending champion, Molly. What would you like to do?
Ooh, I am. I forgot about that.
So obnoxious.
What? I haven't said anything about it all off season.
But it was just the way.
It was just the way your eyes.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the way you carry yourself. Oh.
Actually, I forgot I was the champ. You didn't
that's
forget.
right.
No, I actually
You
did.
didn't
Oh my gosh.
forget.
It's been so long since
Hey,
we've done it.
I've seen that banner she hung in her office.
She didn't forget.
She's declaring a national
You could
championship.
have knocked me over with a feather. I did win that last year.
My master's jacket's also in there.
It is.
Oh,
You
wow.
You've
Now she's
taken
really
care of the
it's
master's
coming out,
jacket.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question? I got distracted.
I can see. Do you want to do better or forget it start this week, or would you like to defer for the second half?
I mean, I want to do it this week.
All right. We'll do it Friday then.
Are my teammates okay with that, though?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
This is like the champions dinner at Augusta.
Oh, sweet.
You won the green jacket. You get to choose what you're going to eat. You don't go around and ask them what they want. You declare, this is what we're doing.
Well, it's important to make sure no one has any allergies or dietary needs and for the food.
And I'll add this to it. I'm not going to forget a single game this year because I did that one time last year, and y'all never shut up about it. So we're just going to start calling it Bet It.
Better see Hawaii on there.
Well, we're going to have to.
Well, there's only 5 games to pick from.
It's a very small slate.
That's why I think we should
thought we
do
were
it.
going with a smaller slate.
No, we typically go 5 games.
Yeah, 5 games.
Okay.
And that's all we've got on the docket.
Mhm.
So you better read up on your Fresno State and your Sam Houston State.
All right, got those locked in. Hawaii is my big play.
Oh.
And TJ Finley does not play for Western Kentucky, if you want to factor that into your picks.
Hey, here's a fun stat for you. Stanford at Hawaii, First time since 2000 that an ACC team has played in Hawaii.
And that's great and everything, but what's the barometric pressure going to be? Because that's really what's going to factor into.
Well, it depends if the low pressure front right off the Big Island develops.
Okay.
Because if that does, then we got all sorts of kicking problems.
Okay.
Let me tell you, you get 15,000 rabid
in the
fans
Timmy Chang Center
in the complex, the athletic complex.
Yeah, the Timmy Chang Center.
Sure. Everything's off the board at that point.
Yes, that's the last game of the night. That's on CBS too. Did you realize that? That's not on like CBS Sports Network.
Oh no, it's on CBS.
That's big. That's big boy CBS.
Is this Gary Danielson gets a trip to Hawaii?
I hope so.
His final year.
I didn't even think about that. That might be.
It's his final year.
Is he going to have a flower? You
retiring.
think he has a flowered shirt with a lei on it?
I hope so. That'd be glorious. Him and Nestler going out on a high note, getting a free trip to the island to
Welcome
do
into a
Stanford.
sold out Timmy Chang.
So you're going to start calling it the Timmy Chang Center now. They should. Oh, it's here. Love it. More three-man front here on Jox.
$12.53 man front here on Jox. Thanks for tuning in wherever you may be there in Jox land around the country consuming college football. You download the app, the Jox app, take it with you wherever you go throughout your travels this high school and college football season, and you never miss a moment of the show. Any of our programming, also those watching on Jox TV. I'm looking at it right here in studio there on YouTube. We appreciate that. Folks on the Gulf Coast, they're in the Mobile area, also in Montgomery, Huntsville, Tuscaloosa, all the surrounding parts. We appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you.
Well, it's almost time for college football, and if you're looking for the perfect place to catch all the action, go and check out Big Whiskeys because they are the place to catch all the games in the bar on the big screen. They also have great food of all varieties with a full menu with apps, salads, burgers to steaks. Their bar features unique cocktails, over 120 whiskeys, including whiskey on tap, and like I said, plenty of screens so that you can catch all the college football action all weekend long. So go and check them out at the Stadium Trace Village off Highway 150 near the Hoover Met.
So the Tennessee Volunteers, it was reported in the Knoxville News Sentinel that the season tickets for the Tennessee Vols, it increased by an average of 4% across the board for the upcoming season. The 4% increase is slightly below the 4.5% increase from 2024 and 25. University of Tennessee is offering a 10-month payment plan to fans, as AD Danny White stressed the notice being provided prior to the 2025 season is to give fans a longer window to manage the ticket costs. White also indicated that the 10% talent fee, which was instituted prior to the 2025 season, remains in effect for next season. So that goes to pay for all their talent with this NIL.
So it's basically a 14% raise in ticket prices.
Yeah. Wilson notes that the only ticket type without an increase is the Premier Club, which is a premium offering with a club below the lower west side seating. The cost for the remaining $4,600 for the second straight season. All other ticket options increased, include the 3 other premium offers at Neyland Stadium, but the headline is that they continue with the 10% talent fee that's on University of Tennessee tickets.
Well, they got to be able to pay Joey Aguilar to come back for another year, Pat.
Yikes. Yikes, yikes, and yikes again.
I wouldn't be super happy if I was a member of that fan base and we weren't able to keep our quarterback because of how much money he cost, and now we're going to continue to upcharge season tickets or in a season where you don't have the highest of expectations.
Let's just say that Tennessee falls off the map like one of those predictions at CBS Sports. Let's say they go 4-8. Does the criticism fall on Heupel or the fact that because Nico left, they're giving them the benefit of the doubt?
4-8, he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt.
No.
Not at this point.
But it's 500 benefit of the doubt, 6-6.
I think, I'd say 6 and 6, 7 and 5. Cause for concern, but he gets the benefit of the doubt.
But under 500.
Under 500.
It's a different
animal.
that's
yeah.
No, with the rest of that roster and what you've built there with recruiting classes, what you've done in the portal.
I mean, defensively and
to
what
be
you've
fair,
got.
that schedule, it's not insane.
No, it's not. But, I mean, similar to last year, right? You should be pretty good defensively. You should have a pretty good running game. And that's a lot of what they relied on last year, and you made it to the playoffs. So I think, you should be good enough to – Tennessee's at a point they should be good enough to go 8-4 as a floor.
Even with a okay quarterback?
I would think with everything they have around, because, I mean, you could make the argument that Nico was just okay for a lot of last year. So
definitely in the Arkansas game.
There were a couple games, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great stuff. Well, I wish I could say that coming up in a couple of minutes, Moose Johnston's going to join the show, but he's not. You want to do like a faux mock interview with Moose Johnston?
You want to do it right now?
Up? Moose, welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
There's been a lot of talk about Birmingham not selling enough season tickets, 5,000 to be exact, and the franchise is gone. Can you comment whether that is true or not?
I cannot.
Why are you on the show then?
That's a great question. Ask my boss. Mike Rapoli. He's the one that made me do it.
Oh, my.
I hope we get Moose on. We want answers.
Welcome back. It's 1 o'clock on Three Man Front. Thanks for tuning us in on this Wednesday. We had promoted last night and earlier this morning that Moose Johnston from the UFL, he was scheduled to be on our program. Moments before we came on the air this morning, we were notified by the UFL that Moose Johnston was no longer available for an interview. So hopefully, maybe in the coming days, we'll have the opportunity to have a frank discussion with the Vice President of Operations at the UFL. But unfortunately, Landrum, we have to report, as of this moment, it does not look like that's going to happen.
Cut Moose loose. Let him come on the show. It just feels like he was asked not to come on the show. That's what it feels like.
That's what it seems like.
I get feelings.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
Well, one thing that you cannot be wrong about, and that is heading to Courtesy GMC in Trussville. School's back in session, and it's time to roll into the new season in style. Brand new pricing has been updated. How about this? $17,000 off an all-new GMC Sierra 1500. Save up to $13,000 off powerful Sierra 2500 HDs. I've owned a few Yukons in my lifetime, and you know that SUV outperforms every other SUV in its class. You can save up to $5,000 off every Yukon XL. And how about the all-new 2026 Acadia? My parents took their Terrain to Courtesy GMC this morning to get their oil changed. I've bought new tires there at Courtesy GMC. Award-winning service department. Body shop is outstanding. Go by and see what I've been talking about for a very long time, and that is Courtesy GMC in Trussville, where it's home of the 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Hurry into Courtesy GMC in Trussville today for all your vehicle needs. They've got 9 acres of inventory, including 30 certified pre-owned vehicles ready to move as we speak. Right off of I-459 exit 32, or you can visit them online at courtesybirmingham.com. So a story came out of all places, Athens, Georgia yesterday. Kirby Smart was meeting with the media, and we've talked a lot about the Big Ten proposal for an expanded college football playoff. We'll take a listen to the current head football coach of the University of Georgia, what he had to say about the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm probably like most people in the majority of, I would love to be able to expand the playoffs if it's done the right way in terms of giving more teams opportunity. I think that's what fan bases want. People are not excited about a mid-tier bowl game at some of these programs they're at. I think those bowl games are great experiences. I played in them. I've coached in them. I love them. That's an opportunity. But the more teams you give an opportunity to decide things on the field, like you do, whether it's college basketball, high school football, old 1AA football, back when they had the playoff, I mean, you're going to get things decided on the grass. So, yeah. I'd be for that. And you say, well, what about the championship games? I love the championship games. Can you have your cake and eat it too? Can you move the season up, start it, get it done? If you can't and you can only have one of those two, I don't know which one I would pick because it would probably depend on the format.
Mike Griffith coming up with a great question to Kirby Smart, and Kirby answering it the way he did. Kind of surprising.
It is surprising, but it's also frustrating because it really doesn't kind of lay out any. We're seems like we get a good idea and it seems like something's trending, and then we get back to our original starting place, and it's all right. What's good for everybody?
Well, it's just
there's nothing that's good for everybody.
It's just funny because he's in favor of expanding the playoff, but he likes the bowl games. He likes conference championship games. But if you can somehow find a way to make it work, that'd be fine. But if he had to pick between keeping the format the way it is or expanding the playoff and getting rid of conference tournament or conference championship games, well, he doesn't know which one he would decide. It's just so you want the playoffs to expand, but you don't have any thoughts on the format or what you would prefer. I don't know. It's just kind of bizarre.
Kind of surprising, to be honest with you, that he even voiced an opinion. And that's not a shot at him. I'm just saying we're just so programmed to coach speak. Mm-hmm. And we're not used to any of them really giving us their honest thoughts.
No,
unless it's Eli Drinkwitz.
Eli Drinkwitz, he's always good for some honesty. But for a coach like Kirby Smart to say what he said, yeah. And hopefully we get there. But I don't see ever a solution that everybody's going to agree on. So different strokes, different folks. It's all relative, but how it affects a school from the SEC is going to affect a school potentially from the Big 12, the ACC, the Mountain West, the list goes on and on, much differently. I don't know if we ever come to, hey, this is perfect. Why didn't we think of this earlier?
What difference does it make? Because you could have a team now that just declared themselves a national champion.
This is true.
And they don't have to go to a college football playoff.
You can do it. You don't get the money for it. You pay money to put it up in your stadium.
Yeah.
And you get to drive rival fan bases crazy with it. Which, speaking of, text comes in from New Mexico. Speaking of New Mexico. The text reads, you guys have a great show, but I believe you're too close to the Alabama trees to see the NCAA forest. NCAA, with the Michigan ruling of keeping their championship while obviously cheating, expanded the definition of championships this year to allow cheaters to claim championships. And Auburn is just applying today's NCAA standards to all time.
That's an interesting angle. I hadn't thought about it like that.
And either.
I mean, yeah. Hey, Michigan can claim 2023 as a championship, then
this
should stop you from claiming your team's championship.
This is the Houston Astros rule.
Well, at least, the NCAA, gave Michigan a slap on the wrist. Rob Manfred, they gave the Astros a kiss on the lips after their cheating scandal. He didn't do crap. Oh, wait, they had to fire their manager, who now manages the best team in the American League yet again.
That's
oh, my
right.
God.
Do you think there's any cheating going on in Detroit?
No.
Yes, obviously. Once a cheater, always a cheater.
Yeah.
No, you can learn.
Mm.
People change.
Nah, not him.
So speaking of Rob Manfred, did you miss this the other night during the Little League weekend? This next comment by Rob Manfred has a lot of people in baseball really scratching their head wondering what's next.
I think if we expand, it provides us with an opportunity to geographically realign. I think we could save a lot of wear and tear on our players in terms of travel. And I think our postseason format would be even more appealing for, entities like ESPN, because you'd be playing up out of the East, out of the West, and that 10 o'clock time slot where we, sometimes get Boston, Anaheim, would be two West Coast teams, and that 10 o'clock slot that's a problem for us sometimes becomes a real opportunity for our West Coast audience. So I think, I think the owners realize that there's demand for Major League Baseball in a lot of great cities, and that we have an opportunity to do something good around that expansion process.
2 years ago, I was having lunch with someone in Major League Baseball, and they predicted that this was going to happen by the end of this decade. And I said, what do you mean? What's going to happen? He said, well, before Rob Manfred retires, and he's already announced that he will be exiting in the next couple of years.
Yay.
He is going to reposition Major League Baseball. Probably going to look at a couple of expansion franchises. And then he is going to fix the divisional problem. And I said, well, what's the divisional problem? He said, well, not so much in a National American League thing. He is basically going to put the Yankees and the Mets in the same division. They're going to put the White Sox and the Cubs in the same division, Angels, Dodgers, and so forth. And I said, okay, so you're going to do away with the American and National Leagues? Yes. And I said, so you're going to have 32 teams, and you're going to have 8 4-team divisions? And he said, yes. I said, interesting. So over the last 48 hours, there have been multiple. Molly was just showing me one from Fox Sports. The breakdown of the new divisions. The Athletic has one that was out. I've even seen one proposal that there's no more. It's not called the American League and it's not called the National League. It's going to be called the East and the West. It's going to be like the stupid NBA.
Why can we not just keep American and National League?
Apparently, that's one of Rob Manfred's big ideas.
Okay.
That there will not be a National League, will not be an American League. It will be East and West. And so I'm sitting here looking at one of the projections, and it has Nashville getting a team. So the Braves would be in what they are calling the National League South. That's if the National League name stays.
I like it. I like it already.
It would be Miami, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, and Nashville.
Yes!
That would be the National League South. The National League East.
Or the heartbeat of baseball.
Where the Braves currently are in would be the Mets, Phillies, Nationals, and Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, keep them up there. Like an old pair of shoes you don't want to wear.
The National League North. Milwaukee Cubs, Reds, Cardinals.
Okay.
And the National League West would be San Francisco, Dodgers, Arizona, and San Diego. So
you get White Sox, you get Brewers, you get Cubs.
Mm-hmm.
You're good with that, right?
Which means the Colorado Rockies would then be sent to the American League.
I thought you were going to say the minors.
Well, that too.
They've been relegated.
So basically, the American League East would be Boston, Yankees, Blue Jays, Orioles.
NL South.
Then the American League North would be Minnesota, Detroit, Cleveland, and the White Sox.
Okay.
The American League South would be Colorado, Kansas City, Texas, and Houston.
They just had to put Colorado somewhere, didn't they?
The American League West would consist of Seattle, Portland or Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, and the Angels. That would be based on the Athletics projections.
It'd also be the worst division in baseball.
Well, it'd be an interesting collection of fan bases.
Ooh, okay.
But I was told 2 years ago, and now it's all playing out. You just heard what Rob Manfred said Sunday night in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. I've got news for the commissioner. There's going to be a work stoppage. We're not going to have baseball in 2027. So enjoy your baseball while you can get it.
Do you think that is going to take over the entire season, though?
Absolutely.
So you don't think we'll have a season at all in 2027?
It will be shut down, and this will be the one that will hopefully propel the league.
This is the salary cap discussion, right?
Yes, this is the big one.
Are we going to have scabs, or are we going to have to watch Korean baseball?
You're going to have to watch Korean baseball or the Mexican League.
Ugh.
Yeah, this one's going to hurt. This one's going to be as bad. The last one was bad, if you remember.
How many games do the Savannah Bananas play?
Too many. They play a lot of games.
I'm going to invest now. Their stock is going to soar.
Yeah, this is going to be.
So that affects minor leagues too, right?
Yeah, because Major League Baseball owns minor league baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. Just go ahead and get ready.
It's almost like they have a year and a half head start to go ahead and start working on this right now.
And how much you want to bet,
right?
Oh. Part of the negotiations, Major League Baseball is going to force this realignment.
I could see that, and I'm okay with realignment.
And that's going to be a caveat, which is, hey, we're going to give you 2 more teams, because that's like, think about it, from A ball up to the majors, the number of jobs that they're going to create for the union.
I love having the Nashville option though.
Yeah,
I like that.
I would love a team in Nashville.
2 drivable cities.
Yeah, no, that would be fantastic. But I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, though, too, with the whole lockout thing, is if you're going to do a salary cap, there also needs to be the minimum salary cap where you don't have these franchises that are paying $45 million for an entire payroll and they're just not competitive.
Yeah.
You just can't have that.
Like the A's and the Pirates.
Yeah, can't keep doing that.
Yeah. Or move those. Maybe Rapoli will buy into Major League Baseball. Maybe he'll give the Pirates and the A's maybe the same type of ultimatum he gave us.
Why don't you do away with substance abuse testing and bring back spider tack? Would that help with the negotiations?
Yes. I would be okay with that.
I'm just looking for solutions a year and a half out.
Let's just try it for a year or 2. See what happens. I like that idea.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you're a baseball fan, you are heading directly into the sun, because this is going to be bad. Really bad.
That's today's edition of Things Not to Look Forward to.
Yeah, 2027.
2027 is going to be a crap year, baseball fans.
Get ready for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. At the bottom of the hour, we're going to talk to Coach Bill Clark, former UAB, Jacksonville State head coach. He's going to be in studio. Got a special event coming up on Tuesday night at the Vestavia Hills Country Club. We'll talk to him, and also about the upcoming start of the college football season. That's all straight ahead on 3-Man Front. It is 1:19. Welcome back. This is Three Man Front on Jox. Appreciate everybody tuning us in on this Wednesday. Hope to see you tomorrow night if you were one of the lucky ones to win tickets to the Jox kickoff party tomorrow night at Regions Field. Hope to see you there. Over the weekend, I was able to get out on my zero turn from Artec Tractor. You know, just north of Jasper on Highway 5 is Artec Tractor. They have been a long-standing sponsor here at Jox, and let me tell you something. These people are incredible. Jeremy and Greg, when I was trying to make a decision on what I needed to do on my property, I called Jeremy and he walked me through it. He sent me to artectractor.com. I picked out a couple of items and he said, okay, let's talk about them. And he walked me through the whole process. And I was just so impressed with the knowledge and the way those guys were willing to help me out on my Toro. That's the one that I ended up getting because that was the one needed for my particular yard. But whether it's a Cub Cadet, Gravely, Bobcat, Spartan, if you need a tractor, Mahindra, or a Bobcat, everything from large home acreage to small homesteads to large farms and those hunting plots, they've got tons of opportunities and chances for you to get exactly what you need. Knowledgeable, the sales department, they're going to advise you on the purchase, the expert service department, years of experience. And right now, they're having a sale on their fluids and filters from now until the end of September. That's all oil filters and air filters, also engine oil and hydraulic oil. That's 15% off. So go by and see Jeremy and Greg and the great people there at Artec Tractor, just north of Jasper on Highway 5. That's artectractor.com.
He writes and we try to answer. This is Pat Ponders.
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponders.
Brought to you by Courtesy GMC in Trustful. Get by and see them right off of I-459 exit 32 in Trustful. Question number 1. Dublin, Ireland is hosting the first game of the football season. I want you guys to name another foreign locale that would be cool to host a week 0 game.
Oh, they've done it before. Australia did that one down there one year.
Cal played there.
I want to see a game in Dubai.
Well, that'd be hot.
It'd be hot, but they could figure it out. They got plenty of money. You'd have the air cools going everywhere. They would build a dome just for that game.
See, that's kind of what I was thinking, like Dubai, Ibiza, somewhere over there where it's kind of like you go. It'd be more than just the football game, though, right? For the people that go, you turn into like kind of a luxury vacation experience type thing. So, yeah, I would go Dubai, Ibiza, somewhere over there. I think you could turn it into like a very good party atmosphere to pregame and everything. Yeah.
Japan.
The Far East.
I think Tokyo would be cool.
Can we keep it stateside if I had another idea? Alligator Alcatraz.
I will say one thing I think would be really cool because we've seen them do it with basketball, but obviously football would be much more difficult. But you know how they play the basketball games on the aircraft carrier? Oh, if you could do something like that. Now
that would be cool.
I don't.
And then tackling them off the
off the side of the ship.
the top deck of the
exactly.
ship.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
No, but something like that would be very, very cool if you could.
Quarterback leads a guy on a fade.
Large enough.
He just keeps running.
Well, I was wondering what happened. If somebody lose a basketball off one of those. I'm sure that happened at some point, right?
Bring back Japan.
Yeah, they did. Didn't they do some Far East games back?
I think like the 80s or the 90s. I know Nebraska played one of them.
Oh, did they
and
really?
That's why that's why I said Japan.
Okay.
And I just think it'd be cool.
I vaguely remember them playing in Japan.
College football games in Asia all time. Let's see. Conrad, you see anything? Tokyo. Another notable game took place in Tokyo, Japan, where the University of Nebraska and Kansas State University faced off in the Coca-Cola Classic in 1992.
Bring it back.
Okay, yeah. I was about to say you had BYU played a couple exhibition games in the 70s. Utah State's been over there before. Okay, so you've got a little bit of a track record.
All right, question number 2. Bruce Feldman of The Athletic, he has listed 6 Southeastern Conference head coaches that are on a hot seat on a varying of temperatures. So when the season is said and done, how many SEC coaches will be fired at the end of the season? I didn't say leave under their own volition. I said fired.
Only one.
Okay.
Just because changing out.
And I'm not asking who it is.
Changing out a coaching staff, the contracts involved, the arms race, the revenue stream, money. Schools are just going to be more reluctant to cut ties, and they'll roll the dice with a transfer portal class for the next year.
I'm going to go 2, and I won't tell you exactly who I think, but when you just look at teams like a Kentucky, a Florida, and Oklahoma, where maybe if things really go south, you could see the coach getting fired. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's likely that at least one of those programs does not have the season that people are expecting, and well, not that people are expecting a lot for Kentucky, but yeah, I'll go. So one of those schools, and then Sam Pittman.
I was thinking 2, but I'm also thinking one getting fired and the other one just leaving. Maybe for a different opportunity or just they're done coaching. But to answer your question, my initial thought was 2.
Okay, so you and Conrad go 2, Landrum goes 1. These were the 6 coaches, according to Bruce Feldman, that is on a hot seat in varying degrees. Sam Pittman, Hugh Freeze, Billy Napier, Mark Stoops, Brian Kelly, Brent Venables.
Okay, yep, that's exactly who I would have said for the 6.
Yeah.
That checks out.
So those are the 6 that he says is on a proverbial hot seat.
Do we think Brian Kelly is the least likely of that group to get fired?
I do, just because of the amount of money they owe him.
Yeah, I agree.
Question number 3. Commissioner Greg Sankey recently told Paul Feinbaum that season 2 of Netflix documentary Any Given Saturday is possible. If it does come back, what programs are critical, in your opinion, for the project's success for a season 2?
Alabama and Georgia.
And Texas.
I want to see Florida, too.
All the ones that were not in there. You got to have the whole conference.
Well, yeah. Alabama would be number 1, though.
Alabama and Georgia, though, especially.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I think, yeah, if you're going to do it again and get people, convince people that weren't interested in this edition of it to tune into season 2, you're going to have Alabama, Georgia, and Texas.
And I think this docuseries, it needs some lane.
I agree.
That's a good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I might even go Ole Miss over Texas just because of what you would get from Lane Kiffin. Because I could see Texas being very like, we'll give you a little bit of a look in. But I think Lane Kiffin, I mean, he'd probably be an open book. That'd be quite entertaining. Was Missouri a part of it? They weren't a part of this one, were they?
Mm-mm.
See, that's another one. Kiffin and Drink, like that's where you're going to get the good stuff.
Yeah, Drink wouldn't let them in this year.
Yeah.
By the way, I did watch a few episodes of the Cowboys documentary.
I started that. I threw the first one. You know, I vaguely remember some of that, but man, that was
me too.
Very fascinating. Because I remember when he fired Tom Landry, that was
100,000 people showing up for a parade.
Yeah, for Tom Landry.
I had to watch that. I've been busy watching the Biggest Loser documentary, not the Dallas Cowboys.
Not fit for TV.
That's right.
Leanne's been watching that because she was a Biggest Loser fan when it was on. Yeah.
See, I vaguely remember the show growing up. It's interesting.
My mom and I used to watch it.
Was that the one? Was that the one that Roger Schultz was on?
Yeah, Roger Schultz.
Yeah.
Yep, sure was. Former Alabama player, former talk show host in Montgomery.
And then Robbie Rainbow here locally. Was that the same show, or was he at one of those other weight loss shows?
I don't know.
Homewood coach.
Question number 4. On this date in 1950, ABC Television was the first television network to begin Saturday morning programming for children, beginning with the informational program Animal Clinic. Was Saturday morning TV a must-see for you as a kid? And if so, what did you watch?
I watched it all. I got up so early as a kid.
On Saturday mornings?
Yes. I guess I was just excited. I don't know. I would get there before the actual cartoon started. So I'd be watching either the end of an infomercial or Cousin Cliff. Remember when that would come on here locally in Birmingham? Or I would get some out-of-market version of Country Boy Eddie.
A ripped-off version.
Well, yeah, they're all kind of sitting around, and you have people that come to the back door.
Oh, look who's stopping by.
Look who's stopping by. How you doing? All right, let me play a little diddle.
It'll probably be different for Conrad and Molly because the cartoons and Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon and things like that. But But for Saturday mornings, what did you do? Did you get up and watch anything?
Yeah, I remember vividly. There was a show called PB&J Otter that I watched all the time as a kid.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember what some of the other ones were, but that's the one that I always remember when I was about 4 years old. That's the first memory I have of waking up and watching Saturday morning cartoons and eating breakfast.
See, mine was always Tom and Jerry or Scooby-Doo. Those are my go-tos.
Good ones. Very good.
I've never heard of PB&J Otter.
It's a classic, Molly.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, my kids watched it.
It's about a bunch of otters, and all they do is make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches all day.
Yep.
I've never heard of that.
It was a classic. I couldn't tell you what it's about, but I have vivid memories of what the characters look like.
All right, final question of today. It's courtesy of BB. BB, hope to see you tomorrow night. I think she won some tickets, if I'm not mistaken, for tomorrow night's get-together. What was the most difficult lesson you learned after moving out of your parents' house?
I think just general money management, and I think that that's maybe too vague or too easy of one, but just having to like pay bills on time, just knowing that I was fully responsible. If I don't pay my electric bill this month, I'm not going to have power at my apartment in college. Like things like that you just don't really think about as a child, or most people don't have to think about as a child because your parents take care of it for you, and having all of that responsibility on my plate at one time, it's a transition.
It was the same for me. Just the revelation of how many things that I did not appreciate that instantly I started appreciating.
Yes.
And all of the things that were just unbeknownst to me that had always been taken care of that I didn't know played a factor in home ownership for me. It's like, wow, okay, better learn how to do that. Better learn how to do that. And I'm glad that I did.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of people, I would argue I learned more from college just from having to learn how to be an adult than a lot of what you learn in a classroom.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of what college is learning how to be an adult.
I've always been a pretty independent person, but I learned a lot more independence in college because I was 15 hours away. Whereas a lot of my roommates, their parents were 15 to maybe an hour away. So, for example, my car breaks down. I call my dad. I said, Dad, my car broke. He was like, I'm sorry, but what do you want me to do about it? And I'm like, you know what? That's a good point. Give me 10 minutes. I'll call you back. And I figured it out. So just stuff like that you kind of take for granted in high school that you really have to, like changing a tire.
I was going to go, though, technically moving out of the house, but I moved out for college. But my first 2 quarters of college, I did not do really well at all. So my parents said, before they kick you out or you get put on suspension for academics, we're going to pull you out and you're going to reevaluate what it means to be a college student. So I went and worked for my stepdad in Limestone County, Alabama for 7 months, 80-hour weeks, hard labor. But it did make me appreciate when I went back to school, went to every class, paid attention, studied, and never made below a 3.0 after that.
As funny as it is, like looking back, and it was a horrible thing when it happened, the best thing that happened to me going to college, honestly, I think was falling down a cave and breaking my leg, because my first semester of college, I couldn't go to parties.
Yep.
I couldn't go and socialize and do a lot of those things. So I had to sit in a dorm room and learn how to study. And that helped me for the next 4 years, whereas I saw a lot of my friends that
would have helped me.
They got sucked into the college life very quickly, and it'll eat you up.
I needed a straitjacket my first 2 quarters.
That is today's Pat Ponders, brought to you by Courtesy GMC in Trussville. Goodbye, and see them right off of I-459 exit 32. When we come back on Three Man Front, we've got a little bit of an update from the UFL. A writer in the state of Michigan might have some news about Boise getting a team and how that could affect Birmingham. That's next on Three Man Front. So originally we were scheduled to talk to Moose Johnston from the UFL, Vice President of Operations. Yesterday afternoon, we were asked, they reached out to us, the UFL, asked if we'd be interested in talking to Moose Johnston. We said, absolutely. We love Moose. Moose was a regular guest weekly on this radio show. It was actually 3 years ago, because 2 years ago, it's when we started the weekly hits with Skip Holtz.
When did Howie Long come in studio? 5 years ago?
That would have been about 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, Howie came in and hung out with me and Landrum one day. Great interview.
Yeah.
Anywho, we got a call, or actually we were communicated with minutes before we came on the air this morning to say that he would not be available to join the show today. So, Mike T. Bell, who covers the Michigan Panthers in the UFL, he had tweeted into us here at the show, and he was telling us that a Boise State beat writer, BJ Rains, he is a very noted writer up in the Paradise Valley in the state of Idaho, and he has covered a lot of things with Boise, especially Boise State football. According to Mike T. Bell, BJ Rains went directly to the university, Boise State University, and confirmed that there will be no UFL for 2026 in Boise, Idaho. Remember, that was one of the cities that supposedly was going to be on the map to get one of these expansion franchises. Now, according to BJ Rains, there is a possibility of 2027 or later that Boise could find itself with a franchise. And then Mike Bell also brings up something that we've really never thought about. So they keep talking about the relocation, right? So what if they're talking about relocating, maybe not moving it out of the actual city, but moving it to a different venue? For example, he brought up in Houston, instead of playing at the home of the University of Houston Cougars, they could move to I'm not familiar with this. I suppose this is a soccer stadium. It's called Shell Energy Stadium. Yeah. I would suppose that that's a soccer venue.
Yes. It's home of the Houston Dynamo.
Okay.
Let's see. The Houston Dash and Texas Southern.
Okay. So that is one possibility that this individual that covers the Michigan Panthers brought up, that it could be simply maybe not, moving the Houston franchise out of Houston, but just moving it to a...
Tell you where you don't want to put it. Rice Stadium.
Yeah, that would not be good. So then the other question is, listen, I think what he means in Birmingham is if you don't sell the tickets, we're leaving. I don't think this is, okay, well, if you only sell 2,000 tickets, then we're going to relocate you to the Hoover Met. I think this is, Birmingham would be in the rearview mirror. That's just my opinion, if they don't get to that ticket amount. But just an interesting perspective that it has now been. And BJ Rains is a noted journalist in the state of Idaho. So if he went directly to Boise State and asked them, hey, what's up with this? And based on my conversation with Kevin Miller, who hosts the #1 radio show in Boise a couple weeks ago, he laughed at it. He was like, there's no way. He said, first off, I've heard nothing of Boise hosting the UFL. And second of all, Boise State football only sold 18,000 season tickets. They got a problem selling tickets to the biggest draw in the town. That's what the town's known for.
Saying they made the playoff last year. They were very good.
Yeah, they sold 18,000 season tickets, and now you want to put a UFL team there?
Hey, I got a solution. You get Mike Rapoli. Start sending texts threatening to take Bronco football away from those people. Buy your season tickets now.
We're going to move it to Pocatello. Yes, that's a real town in Idaho.
Oh, you couldn't have made that one up. Pocatello.
I think it's like the third or fourth largest in the state of Idaho. Why I know that, I have no idea.
Yeah, how do you know that?
That and the mole hole.
That was a good place to go. All right, when we come back, we will put a bow on this edition of Three Man Front, and it has been a Hall of Fame episode. This thing is, Conrad is going to slap a label on the cassette tape and send it to the Broadcasting Hall Museum in Chicago.
Do we have that potential story? Do you want to read that one? Yeah or nay?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Or we could just put Matt Moscona on loop for the last 17 minutes of the show.
People driving off the road and rage and anger, Pat. We don't need that.
I might need a goodies.
All right, more three-man front on Jox.
.145, three-man front here on this Wednesday edition. We got professional baseball, some going on right now, some coming up tonight. The Atlanta Braves comeback fashion last night over the White Sox, redeeming themselves. Hurst and Waldrop going today. How about our friends at Prize Picks, though? You can win money up to 2,000 times your cash with Prize Picks. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. It's really simple to play. I play it, and so many other Jox listeners took me on it beginning last football season. But it's a lot of sports, but football coming up naturally, college, professional ranks. You can dive in there. All kinds of different options. Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. You can join millions of users. Sign up today, and it's really simple. You download the Prize Picks app today, use code WJOX, get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WJOX to get $50 in lineups after you play that first $5 lineup. Tonight we will go professional baseball. Atlanta, Hurston Waldrop, the pride of the Florida Gators, trying to go 4-0. He's been very impressive in his first 3 starts. The stat projection for Hurston Waldrop, Conrad, Pat, Molly, if you want to play along, is 5 strikeouts, more or less tonight against the White Sox. 5 strikeouts. So far this season, he's pitched 17 innings. He has 17 strikeouts.
Pretty good ratio. I'm going to go more. If it's the White Sox.
Yeah, we'll go more.
All right, we're going to go more on that one. This one involving Conrad's team, the New York Yankees. Cam
Loss. Oh, that's not an option, right?
Cam Schlittler.
Good. Got to be careful with that one.
Really careful.
Where's he from? Is he from Germany?
I don't know, but I love him. He throws really fast.
Schlittler. I'm really tempting fate here. 4.5 strikeouts, more or less.
I'm going to go more.
All right.
Less.
Boo.
He's going to break his arm in the first inning.
Ooh. Probably will.
I like that. Well, not for him. I just like how you're going into the detail and you're calling that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I will ride with Pat. Didn't seem as serious as Conrad did with his prediction. I'll go with Conrad, the Yankees fan. So this is what happens if Cam Schlittler has 5 or more strikeouts and Hurston Waldrop has 6 or more strikeouts tonight. We're a winner. You can be a winner too. Prize Picks, run your game.
Have you seen something?
I have.
All right, let's do this. This is the worst thing that Conrad's seen.
This is the worst thing I've seen.
Been in quarantine and I need to get out and party. Woo! What's better than beach and a few drinks and Jeeps? Man, getting better than that. Law enforcement's definitely made their visitability and made people chill out and not be as crazy. The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all.
So with college starting back, I know Tuscaloosa at the University of Alabama, their classes start back today. I'm sure a lot of other colleges in that same boat. But maybe you have a kid in high school and you're getting ready for that college search and you want to know what are the safest and most dangerous college campuses that my child could potentially attend. Well, thanks to the Wasatch Defense Lawyers from Salt Lake City, Utah, they have been kind enough to collect data from around the country, and they have given us the 10 most dangerous as well as the 10 safest college towns in the United States. So do we want to start with the most dangerous or the most safe?
Safe.
Most safe. All right. So we're going to start out at number 10. And this is a big party school, but also the 10th safest college town, apparently, in the country is Morgantown, West Virginia.
They burn couches there.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a surprise to me that one comes in at number 10. But at number 9, you have Madison, Wisconsin, obviously University of Wisconsin. At number 8, you have Corvallis, home to Oregon State. At number 7, we have Cambridge, Massachusetts, which is where MIT is located.
Okay.
At number 6, they may like to cheat, but they do it safely. Ann Arbor, Michigan comes in as the University of Michigan is number 6 on the list. Number 5, good news for Bill and Jordan, Chapel Hill is the 5th safest college town according to this list.
Keeping the peace.
At number 4, you have Pullman, Washington, the home of Washington State. And now the top 3 safest college towns in the country. You're going to have Amherst, Massachusetts. That is going to be the home of the University of Massachusetts Amherst. At number 2, you're going to have Princeton, New York. Obviously the home of Princeton University. And then the number 1, the safest college town in the country, according to Wasatch Defense Lawyers, is Berkeley, California, for the University of Cal.
That
at
makes
Berkeley.
sense. They'll smoke a doobie on Doobie Hill.
That's right.
Chill out, make love, not war. That seems about right.
Now, how about the most dangerous? This is where things get a little more interesting.
Oh, please tell me there's not a lot of SEC.
Campus of USC, number 1.
Please tell me it's not a lot of SEC.
I'm in Southern California.
Oh, just wait, Pat. You're going to enjoy one of these.
Oh, boy.
All right, so we're going to start off at number 10.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Most dangerous college cities. No, but it is a Big Ten school.
Iowa City.
I will go Evanston, Illinois.
It is Bloomington, Indiana.
Oh, man.
Really?
Home of the Hoosiers.
I like Bloomington.
So this metric is based on.
Never been there, but it sounds so
It's
safe.
a really cool city.
It is the number of crimes per 10,000 people is how they are making this list. So, for example, Bloomington, Indiana, 85 crimes per 10,000 people. That's their metric. All right, number 9, East Lansing, Michigan State is the 9th most dangerous college town. Number 8, Cedar City, Utah.
Yeah, not going there.
The home of Southern Utah. Number 7, I think Molly was the one that just said this one, Iowa City. The home of the University of Iowa.
The salad bars.
The mile-long salad bar.
Well, there's a lot of Big Ten cities in the worst.
Yes, there are.
I'm kind of surprised by that one, too.
Just wait a second.
Oh.
Number 6, we're going to go to Logan, Utah, which is the home of Utah State. So now the top 5.
I didn't know that there's 2 really dangerous
In Utah.
college towns.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Wouldn't
No,
have
I
either.
wouldn't either.
But now we have the 5 most dangerous college cities in America. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Don't tell me they're all SEC schools.
They are not,
Okay.
but there are some. Number 5, Ithaca, New York, the home of Cornell.
Ivy
Oh,
League.
Big Red.
So Princeton, New York was the second safest
That's
college
Princeton,
town.
New Jersey.
And now, well, it says New York in here.
That's
but okay,
wrong.
There you go.
It's New Jersey.
Get them, Pat.
Thank you for the clarification there, Pat. So number 5 was Ithaca, New York, home of Cornell. Number 4, New Haven, Connecticut, another Ivy League school, this time Yale. And now the top 3. This is where it gets really good. So we've got 2 SEC schools and 1 not SEC school. And that would be at number 3, Tempe, Arizona, Arizona State. The 3rd most dangerous college city in America with 136 crimes reported per 10,000 residents.
Recount.
I was just thinking.
That was Phoenix. They had bled over into Tempe.
I was thinking that was maybe a stat that came from the health department.
Not the lazy river.
Yeah, exactly.
And so now taking the 2 top spots, the fine representatives from the Southeastern Conference, starting off the 2nd most dangerous college town in the country, right down the street in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as Tuscaloosa is named the 2nd most dangerous city with 149 crimes per 10,000 people. I can already imagine the jokes that are being made on the text line right now. And then
you don't want to claim that one.
No. And number 1, any guesses? It is an SEC school, the most dangerous college town in the country.
Florida.
Any other guesses? Are we all going Gainesville?
My guess was Gainesville.
Landrum?
Yeah, I would go. I think I'm going to go Gainesville, but I would say maybe Baton Rouge.
It is Gainesville, Florida, the most dangerous college town in the country, according to Wasatch Defense Lawyers, with 179 crimes per 10,000 people. So a quick recap there. The 3 safest college towns in the country: Amherst, Massachusetts, for the University of Massachusetts Amherst. Number 2 was Princeton. And then number 1 was Berkeley, California, for University of Cal at Berkeley. And then your 3 most dangerous college cities: Tempe, Arizona, for Arizona State; Tuscaloosa, Alabama; and then Gainesville, Florida, and the University of Florida came in as the most dangerous.
Well,
can you back up that stat in Tuscaloosa? Did you ever witness a lot of?
Not the kind that I think is being reported on this list, no. But I think like any college campus, you can go to a number of places and
at least you're not number 1.
See illegal activities. Yes, that's true. Something to strive for.
Congratulations, Gators. All right, that's going to do it for us. Appreciate you joining us. Loaded Up Thursday show, as you would expect. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. God is great.